You recording?
Rolling.
All right.
Aaron Broomgard.
Sounds like a beer fest name.
Am I saying it correct? Aaron
Broomgard.
Aaron Boongard. What's up, Stokers of Stoke Nation? This is Chad Kroger coming in with the Going Deep with Chad and JT podcast. Guys, before we begin, I will remind you once again that we are brought to you by Manscaped. Manscaped, thank you so much for keeping our trims pubed, for looking after our hogs, for making sure that our dongs are looking fresh and clean, because we may be in a pandemic, but that does not mean that you can't keep your pubes ready for the real world when we get the green light. So use code GODEEP, www.manscaped.com, to get the best pube trimmers on the market. And I'm here with my compadre, Jean Thomas. What up?
Boom, clap, Stokers.
And we're here with Kevin Heffernan and Steve Lemme of Tacoma FD and Super Troopers Beer Fest, the legends. What up?
What up? Did that sponsor write that copy for you, or was that off the dome?
It was off the dome.
Okay.
Actually, they gave us like 2 reads when they first signed on. But I was so fired up on the company, I just kept doing reads for them.
Yeah.
And we've since locked some more, but I think they were just so fired up on how much I was fired up on pubes and
the
Where do they stand on mustaches? Can you trim mustaches, those things, or no?
Yeah, dude, they're moving up. They're starting from the dong on up,
Yeah.
and you can get the chest now, and they've got some grooming things for your face, and then some nose hairs.
Because we've been heavy mustache guys in our day, and that's an important thing for us, right? You guys aren't mustache guys, right? Or are you?
No, but I'm down.
Yeah.
But
I mean, you look like you could grow a mustache like quickly. Look at you,
Yeah, for sure.
You got some
It always
growth there.
comes in a little more narrow than I'd like it to be. I'd like it to have a little more width, but I'm good with it. Yeah. If you guys want to do a mustache thing, all 4 of us, let's run it
Right now?
Start growing.
right now.
It takes me a while. I'm a little follically challenged.
I can actually grow a beard. I know it doesn't look like it right now, but it can come in thick.
Grown a mustache ever?
I have, yeah. My stash isn't. Maybe if I gave it some time, it was pretty lackluster last time I did it. But I think that when I go unshaving, it's pretty full.
You got to be careful. Because it's like I'm at the stage now where I've spent starting with the filming of Super Troopers 2 through then us filming our TV pilot and then shooting that season and then season 2. I've had the majority of my last 4 years have been spent with a mustache.
Right there, yeah.
And now I can't, when you shave your mustache off, you look weird to everybody. And I'm having trouble getting back to looking at myself the way I used to look at myself. I used to gaze at myself in the mirror, and now I try to avoid it because I'm I just look weird, because it's like Kevin was pointing it out. It's that, that mustache.
Those are on fire. I mean,
Those are powerful
manly.
stashes.
That's some manly stuff, man.
Do you guys think the
Yeah.
5 o'clock shadow has seen its high point and we need to transition into a new de facto look for men? I was watching UFC the other night and all 3 commentators had the same 5 o'clock shadow.
Yeah.
And I was like, is this too much? Do we need to?
It's cyclical, man. It's cyclical, remember we used to watch Miami Vice, right, Lemmy?
Yeah.
That was the look, and they actually sold razors called the Miami Device.
Mm-hmm.
And what did it have? Each prong. It was each prong was missing, so that you got to.
It shaved every 3rd hair.
Whoa.
And so it would give you and by the Miami Device, whoever came up with that thing was he must have run to the patent store. I mean, that's a great. But then but then George Michael, he was the next one, and it's
his was up to his eyes.
Yeah,
The werewolf.
Yeah, I don't like that look. I don't like because it's constructed. It's if you've got stubble, you haven't shaved. So you have.
What about JT's look? What about that look? What about JT's
mine?
look?
He's dope.
Dude, legend.
He's dope because because he's not trying to groom. It's when you can see that the stubble has.
Are you sure
like,
though? Are you sure he's not trying to groom it?
I gave it a little trim ski today, but I try to keep it au naturel because I totally know what Steve's talking about. Yeah.
But
JT, how often do you give it a little clean?
Every third or fourth day, depending on if we're doing like stuff on camera.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I just don't. It's like this will probably come across as harsh and judgmental, and I don't like to be this way. I'm not attacking. You know, Kevin thinks I'm going to attack JT, but I'm not going to. It's. I don't like the dudes who shave. Listen, by the grace of whatever, they don't have the jawline that they want. But I don't like dudes who shave a stubble jawline onto their face, and then they've got stuff coming out underneath it, and you're like, you've shaved a jawbone onto your face, but I know what you're doing, and I don't like it. You know, like, is that wrong of me?
No. Are you accusing JT of doing that? Or?
No, I'm not coming at JT.
I'm not. I think it's probably the weakest part of my aesthetic, but I try not to do what he's talking about, where you try to like overcompensate with like the facial hair construction around it.
Sure.
But
we just met JT, but I think it looks great.
Thank you, dude.
Yeah. Man.
Yeah.
I'm in your camp.
I think you can't have the stubble look too well maintained. You know, you gotta I feel like when you have nice stubble, you know, people are like, all right, that guy has lots of tea. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
sure.
a good amount of tea.
Yeah, but if you like, you know, if you're maintaining it, you lose the tea points, I think.
Well, I think you're totally right. Right. It's like when you watch the NHL playoffs and you're like, oh, they're growing out their playoff beard. And you see those dudes who within like a week, they've just got like an awesome mustache and beard. You're like, I wish I could do that. I can't do that. That guy's got good tea. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's like, let's not.
I don't. I have bad tea.
Yeah, you don't have
bad tea?
Yeah.
I don't buy that.
He's got Irish tea. Irish tea.
I got Irish tea.
That'd be a good name. That'd be a good name for an Irish rapper. Irish tea.
Irish tea. That'd be awesome, man.
Yeah.
Lay down my beats, my Irish tea beats.
Oh yeah.
Do you rap at all?
No.
If we could just, but that should be the advertisement for this podcast. Do you rap at all? No, that's it. I can.
And then you're out.
Done.
Yeah.
We call it the 3-second podcast.
Yeah. Guys, thanks for joining Stoke Nation.
Yeah.
We just had a super extended Razor ad, so now we get into it, right? The Razor ad's over.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I mean, I guess I should ask, like, do you guys manscape, you know, below the belt?
Yeah. Yeah. My wife is 12 years younger than me, from Miami. And
nice.
So, like,
way to go, man.
Thanks, dogs. So, but when I met her, I mean, we joke about it now, but like when she saw my dong for the first time and my hairy chest, she said in her mind, like, she's Cuban from Miami, she was like, I guess that's just how this dude rolls. And because she said I was the first pubic hair she'd ever seen in her life.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And so, like, I'll go bare. I'll take it all the way down now, and I like it. I like it.
Yeah. I tell this story often. When I used to shave it all the way bare, and so did my younger brother. My dad found out, and my mom caught him like a week later doing the same.
Did she like it?
She never told me actually whether she liked it or not. I kind of like the John Parr, my name being the same name as the guy from Snell's.
Right.
They never really give more information on it. Yeah.
But they met in Miami, so she must have liked it.
Yeah, they did meet in Miami actually. They got married in Coconut Grove. That's true. I'm a huge Miami fan. That's what I was saying. Yeah, to when you mentioned your wife was from Miami.
My wife is from the Grove.
Yeah, that's my favorite place in the world. I love going there.
I love
how a party just feels like it could pop off at any second on every corner.
It's also one of those places where, I suppose this is true of most places, but like when you go with a local, it's different. Like you go to like those out of the way places and you're right. It's like a party can pop up anywhere, and a breakdance battle can happen at any time.
Yeah, exactly.
I've seen it. I've been out of bars and seen breakdance battles break out. And then 1 second.
You jumped in.
What? What? Actually, I was a few times ago. I was there, and a sweet breakdance battle broke out, and I considered it. I considered going over there and being like, but then I was like, because what's going to happen is the old man. It's like when you see like Kyrie Irving dress up as an 80-year-old guy for like the Pepsi commercial, and then he goes and starts draining shit. I was like, I'm going to go out there, and the novelty will be that I'm an old guy and I start breakdancing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, they'll go nuts when I do it, but I don't feel like doing it. And so I didn't. I didn't.
I entered a dance circle one time at this club called The Wood, this bar. And afterward, oh, no, you know what? I was dancing by myself, and the people in the dance circle, this is kind of a braggy. The people in the dance circle called me over, and I said thank you. And then I entered the circle, did a little number, and then I
Let me ask you this, though. Did you comedy dance, or did you really try to sell the dance?
There was a component of comedy, but the comedy was coming from my sincerity in the dance, because I was bringing it with everything I had. Yeah. Right. But it wasn't breakdancing. It was just hip gyrations and shoulders.
And how did they react?
They were into it. They were really cool. Yeah. I mean, I was buzzing hard, so I think they just liked that I emptied the tank.
Do you feel like you could go back and they, remember you, and they're like, dude, get in the circle again?
Dude, that would be so nice if they remembered me. That'd be one of those magical things that like you're like, oh, life is a special good thing.
You're that guy. I remember you. You're that guy.
I thought about you every day since that night.
Yeah.
I'm like, really? Ernesto, is that true?
JT?
He's like, it's true. Yeah.
There's like a painting of you on the wall there.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't think I've ever jumped into a dance circle in my life. You guys, is that terrible?
Not even comedy?
I don't think so.
Oh, dude, there's a few things we got to do after this podcast. Try surfing.
Right. Dance circle.
Mustaches too.
And manscaped.
And kettlebells.
Kettlebells.
Yeah. I was talking about kettlebells before you were on, JT.
Oh, nice, dude. I'm sad I missed that. Yeah, I was 17 minutes late to get on the podcast, guys, because my computer did a full system reboot.
Well, just because you were doing kettlebells.
I should have said that. Yeah.
I thought that's what you were gonna say.
Come on, man.
Yeah, because I just had to get an extra set in with the bells.
One more set to go, man. Come on.
Some clean and jerks. Yeah.
Well, Chad was saying that we asked about your physique and where you were these days, and he said you were looking pretty toned, and thought that maybe you've been hitting the kettlebells. Is that correct?
I mean, I thanks, Chad. I'm stronger than I've been in a while. I've been taking advantage of the quarantine all the time. I'm on a text thread with these guys. We call ourselves the Kettlebell Boys. And we just post what workouts we're doing every day, and we're just in it. I'm almost worried now that the testosterone's getting too high, because we're pushing it more and more every day. And like my friend did a workout the other day where I was like, hey dude, I think you're legit gonna get hurt doing this. And he's like a way better athlete than me, so he's probably fine. But I was like, I think we might need to ease off our competitive juices a little bit, because I don't know if my body can handle this.
But what if like you notice that that thin area of your mustache starts getting thicker and thicker?
It gets wider every time I lift.
Yeah, every time.
That's the kind of incremental improvement in a really special place that would make it all make me push.
It would really motivate you to work harder, too.
Yeah, exactly.
That'd be great.
Do you guys work out together?
We have.
We did. We used to, right? We used to work out
for years.
What did you do?
Well, we had a trainer. Named K-Flash. His name was K-Flash.
Was he a cool guy?
Yeah.
I think it was after Beer Fest, right? Because when we came back from Beer Fest, I was about 50 pounds. Like we drank so much and we're so out of shape, and then we came back and we got this trainer together to try to not die, right?
Yeah. And his thing was he would come to your house, and he had good prices, and so he would train us 2 at a time, and kick our asses. But we
tried to make you vomit
for a few years. Was
K-Flash cool?
Super cool.
Oh, yeah. Super cool.
Did he have any like salient qualities that stick out in memory?
He was a bit of a sadist. Like when you really had to watch what you said around him. If you ever implied that you weren't dying from the workout, he would kill you. And there are so many ways to say that you're not tired that you don't realize. Like there are so many traps you could fall into with him, where he'd be like, "Oh, you think? Oh, really? Okay, well, how about this?" And then like you'd be doing.
There was a time that my brother started working out with us, and then we were hanging out one night. I think we were in a softball game, and my brother walked up casually next to K-Flash, and he started smoking a cigarette.
Oh man!
And K-Flash just looked at him like, "Are you kidding me?"
Yeah.
And then the next day, he made him vomit.
Yeah, he did.
Nice.
Good man. Nice. Yeah. So you guys were drinking during Beer Fest? Like,
yeah.
So were you guys? So the movie's about you guys competing in a beer drinking competition. Was that going on? Like, did that increase the partying? Because you guys were like, it was the vibe of the film.
There was definitely a lot of that. Like that was definitely the vibe, and that was definitely what the spirit of it was. And then people would come into the world and want to contribute to that. Like, you know, the first day we shot with the German characters, like Will Forte. You guys know Will Forte.
Yeah.
He came in, and he came in and decided he was going to show us that he's a really good drinker, you know. And this is at like 8 o'clock in the morning. You're shooting these beer scenes or whatever. And so he came in and he decided he was going to chug and show us how great chug. So he chugged this full beer during this take.
A liter. It wasn't just a mug.
Impressive.
It was a huge Stein liter. He opened his throat, pounded it.
Gone. And it was
Wow.
impressive. Everyone was like, whoa. And then we said, take 2. And then, so then he had to do it again. And he didn't want to lose face. So he did it.
Uh-huh.
And then it was take 3 because that's the way you shoot movies. And so
Yeah.
he didn't realize, he didn't think about that. And then we have a video of him, 15 minutes later, puking in the parking lot in the back because he went too far. He had gone too far, So that was definitely the vibe of it. That people were just drinking a lot, and it was so unhealthy.
Well, and it was.
His acting?
No, did it affect us? No, I mean, when you that, and I don't even know, like, if we would start off the day drinking fake beer. You can't start at 7 a.m. drinking real beer. That's just. But by the end of the day, people would be drinking, and that was more of a volume vomit. Like he had pounded 3 liters of beer in like 10 minutes, and he was out there vomiting. But it was like the vibe was there, the party was there, and it's like I remember like after the first like 2 or 3 weeks, we were done with the actual beer fest portion of it. Because we shot all the beer fest stuff at one time. So the early when they first go, and then the end when they come back, and then we bid farewell to the to all the beer fest people. And I remember it was the German team's last day of filming after like 4 weeks or something like that. And there was a big raging party, and everyone wanted us to go head to head for real. And so like we did it. We went against them, and then they beat us. But that's because we had a weak link. No, we had a weak link. And so that weak link got swapped out in favor of Heffernan's brother, and he came in. And then we beat them on the second one. And then the girls went, and because now we had to have a rubber match, and everyone wanted to take a moment. So we did crew chicks versus cast chicks. And amazingly, the cast, the actresses won. They beat the crew.
No way. Wow.
Yeah, like the people in Grip and Electric and all that stuff?
Yeah.
Wow.
Get out of here.
And now, mind you, this is like, there's a crew of like 75 people and actors and crew, and we're all in this bar. And it's mayhem. People are up on tables. People are wasted. It's like loud competition. And then, then we went back up against the Germans and we defeated them, and won for Team USA. And this is
as we should.
As we should.
That's awesome.
And that was just one day. In fact, there was so much digestive issues. I wound up getting hemorrhoids. And and to bring it back to K-Flash, he called them the lemmeroids. So we'd be training, and he was making fun of me for having lemmeroids. That's K-Flash for you. That my whole story is to talk about K-Flash some more.
Dude, K-Flash. Yeah, I was wondering because when I watched the movie again. I was like, did you guys go like for research for the movie? Did you go to Ragers? Did you learn about the strikeout and all that kind of stuff, or was it just sort of knowledge you had prior from?
Yeah, I think we just kind of, it was a write what you know thing, and we just took all the games and things that we had done. We did strikeouts in college, and it was something that we done all the time, and it actually was that moment where we were like, oh, you know what? When we make a movie, we're going to put that in the movie. And then so Lemmy did it, but Lemmy, well, I don't want to talk out of school, but Lemmy, you did it for real.
Well, my feeling was if I'm doing a strikeout on film, I'm going to do it for real. This is for all time. Yeah. So I can always look at it and say, that's a real strikeout up there. And, you'll see it's not cut, right? So like I had the real grass in there and the real beer and real tequila. And I did it on the first one and blew out a pretty good amount of smoke. And, Heffernan and Chandrasekhar are behind the camera, and they confer, and Jay comes out. He's like, it wasn't enough smoke. We need you to do it again.
Wow.
And so I did an even bigger hit, And then I wound up, he's like, the problem is it's just the way the lighting is. It's just we're not getting enough smoke in the tube. That's the problem. So we need to go again. I think I did it, 5 times, Queen?
Yeah, something like that.
Now, one of those will fuck you up. 2 of them will really fuck you up. I did 5. Yeah. And then after the 5th one, these assholes came out. They're like, yeah, we got it on the first take, just so you know.
But it wasn't even, you weren't even coherent then. Like, we found you, we were rapping, and we're like, where the fuck's Lemmy? And we went out, and you were in a parking lot, like wandering around, completely incoherent.
Yeah.
Walking around in the parking lot.
Yeah, you gave me a ride home.
Yeah.
Thanks.
I mean, I think it was just like us writing shit that we, the different games that we played and whatever. Before we started shooting, we revisited a lot of those games, to try to remember all the things that we did. That's a lot of quarters and a lot of,
Well, the funny thing is we could write that all off on our taxes because it was a little research and development. But Heffernan, we had a funny thing too because we were playing quarters. It's like you drink the quarter and when it's in your teeth, then you can spit it out. And Heffernan accidentally swallowed the quarter, and
he did.
Yeah, he did.
I was overexcited, and then the quarter went down.
And then
he says, if you shit out 2 dimes and a nickel, then we worry.
Well, we had other thoughts, like our thought was like when it came out the other side, George Washington would be in like a scream pose, in the quarter, the horror of going through Heffernan's body.
Yeah. Well, and also we thought maybe we would sell it on eBay and it would be worth more. And then if that was the case, if we got a good price for it, then we would just start making you eat change.
But that's the thing; it never came out. I don't think it ever came out because, you'd sit around and you'd wait to hear the clink in the bottom of the toilet. I never heard it.
Interesting.
It's still you don't think it was buried deep inside, like
I don't know,
a loaf or something?
It may have been. May have been, but you still, I feel like you'd hear it.
Yeah.
Or maybe a quarter's a pretty good size.
It looked like a shiny. Yeah, you'd see the shine.
Yeah.
Queen, I think it's possible that a quarter could get lost inside your loaf.
It's certainly possible. I'm not saying it's not possible, but I'm just saying, I was kind of looking forward to hearing the clink.
We all were. We all thought about coming over to your house and just waiting for the clink.
Sure. So.
And then you guys all went to Bucknell together, right?
Colgate
Close.
University.
Damn. Same conference, right?
Same conference, yeah. Same sports conference.
Patriot.
So
yeah.
And did you guys just all join the improv team there, and that's how you guys all got connected, or were you guys homies before that?
Some of us were. We kind of started. My buddy was Jay Chandrasekhar, who's in the group, and he had done a bunch of stuff in Chicago, a bunch of improv stuff, and so when we were at school, he wanted to do that, and he got the opportunity. Like some student theater group gave him some money and said, why don't you put together a show? And so we assembled this group. And Lemmy came in and auditioned. We knew him from our fraternity house or whatever, but he wasn't, in my group of friends necessarily. And then, and I hated him. I didn't even like him, so I didn't even want him to be a part of the. I adamantly fought against him to be in the comedy group.
No way. Is that true?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true. He hated me.
Why'd you hate him, if you don't mind me asking?
Yeah, there are a couple incidents, honestly, that he was a little bit of a scummy dude, and one of the things we talked about before is, we would have these parties at our fraternity house, and in the wintertime, it was very cold up there, and everyone would have winter coats and stuff, and everyone would come to the parties, and you'd throw your winter coat into like a big pile in the middle of the room, and then after the party, you take your coat and you go home. And so, one night I went to the pile, and my coat was gone. My coat was missing. Somebody had stolen my coat, and I was pissed off because it was fucking cold out, So a couple weeks went by, and there's another party, and then my coat showed back up again at the room, and I picked it up. I said, "Holy shit, my coat!" And I reached into the coat, and the idiot had left his college ID in the coat. The guy who stole the coat left, evidence behind. And I looked at the ID, and the ID was Stephen Lemmy. And I was like, who the fuck is Stephen Lemmy? And I went and I found him. He was like dancing on the dance floor.
Goddamn right I was.
Dance circle, probably.
Goddamn right I was.
You're in the middle of the circle?
Yeah, exactly. Right in the middle of the circle. And I was like, dude, you stole my coat. He's like, I stole your coat. I said, I found your ID in my coat. And he goes, holy shit, the guy who stole your coat must have been the same guy who stole my ID.
Dude, that's great improv. That's very good improv.
Yeah, that
There
was
it
great.
is.
Yes, ending it right away.
Yeah.
That's right. Yes, and the basics.
Yeah.
Well, in my defense, so I was a freshman. He and Jay were a year older than me, and I came. The weather could turn on a dime, and a blizzard had started, and the freshmen lived up this hill that was called a Cardiac Hill. And so, whatever. There's a pile of coats there. Yeah, I stole one. But the thing is, I was shopping. While I was shopping for the coat, I found one that wrapped around me a couple times. And to make matters better, I reached in the pocket, and there was a jumbo Snickers bar in the pocket.
Nice.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I was like, ladies and gentlemen, we have a winner. And I ate that Snickers bar on the way home. And yeah, I guess I was blacked out because I didn't know where I got the coat. And a few weeks later, I was wearing it all over campus, Kev.
Yeah, well.
For a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
But now you guys have maintained a professional relation for quite a few years. That's pretty awesome.
Well,
Yeah.
That's the thing is that I tried out. So Jay and Kevin started the comedy group, and I tried out. And Kevin, well, first I pledged the fraternity, and Kevin didn't want me to join. And then I tried out for the comedy group, and Kevin didn't want me to be in it. But my audition was so supreme. He had no choice. Like Jay was like, "Come on, what did he say? Like he can play the scumbag, and he can play."
Yeah, I was like, okay, we can hire him. He can play the scummy guys.
Mine says, "Be so good they can't say no." Yeah,
that's right. And then Kevin and I wrote a sketch about Socrates and Plato, where
that's true.
Oh, nice.
I was Socrates and he was Plato, and I have to tell you, it was the top sketch of that very first show. And while we were writing it, we were having a good time laughing, and we left. Although this Kevin, I've mentioned this a couple of times. To my dismay, I have recently found out that even though we did 2 sketch comedy shows at Colgate, and then we're friends at Colgate, and then in New York City we did a bunch of sketch comedy for years, and then it wasn't until I wrote a movie screenplay that Kevin actually started to like me, because he thought I was finally becoming slightly respectable.
He was a responsible young man then.
Yeah.
True.
So
I feel that.
it took me a while to get him. Jeez, fucking tough nut to crack.
Right.
Yeah.
But that makes you chase it a little bit more. You can feel like they're not quite all the way sold on you, and you're just like, I got to get this guy.
I always feel that way with Kev. The thing is, I'll never work as hard as Kevin, and he knows it, and I know it, and it's okay.
That's Chad and I too. Yeah, I can't work as hard as Chad. It's not. I just can't do it. Yeah.
Do you guys have that? Like, Chad works a little harder than you do, JT?
Yeah, he's like, he works harder than anyone though. So I like, when I do feel bad about it, I have to remind myself that no one can work as hard as he does. But it's
I badger him a lot. I'm like, what about this? What about that?
See, you're the sergeant at arms, man.
Chill
Everyone
out.
needs a sergeant at arms.
Well, okay,
Me and Chad, we should work together.
Yeah.
No, but that's the thing. That's the thing is
so
that
don't take him from me, dude. Don't do it to me, dude. Please.
We film another beer fest type thing. Let's just rage.
Oh, that sounds fun.
It is, look, I will tell you, it's like, it's those movies. I mean, Club Dread, we were down in Mexico for 10 weeks making that movie, and that was out of control. That was out of control. That was before.
Really?
Well, we went down, we had to shoot it. We needed to find a really beautiful resort to film on. And so we found a place that was incredible, but we couldn't afford to film there and then stay at a hotel in town. And so we wound up, the only way we could do it was to live at the resort that we were shooting at. So we took over this resort. And so, and this is like each room was a cabana with, your own private swimming pool, your own private jacuzzi, your whole and secluded. And it was right on the beach. And so, and we were there for 10 weeks. And I think we partied every single one of those days. And late, but every single day and night we would we would count our lucky stars, thank our lucky stars. We knew it would probably never be that good again. And it's true.
And you could
it's
keep
never,
it positive while you were partying. Like it never some people get like emotional or something like that, but it would seem like that you can't do that if you're like running a set, right? So
yeah, I mean, you had to get up for work too. I mean, it's like,
right.
There are all kinds of studio people there, and they know you're spending 10, 12 million bucks, whatever it is.
Right.
So you gotta. you can't fuck around too much, you know.
Is it hard to incorporate other actors because you guys have such a distinct like kind of cadence and patter with one another? Is it hard to bring other actors into that?
No, I mean, you know, I think it might be hard sometimes for people to feel like it, but I think we're pretty accepting. You know, I mean, our whole philosophy has always been like to be good natured and to create a worlds where, you know, people feel like they're, you know, in a group of friends hanging out, having a good time. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so I think we try to do that on our sets in terms of making it welcome and people feel like they're having fun and we're having a good time. And, you know, I've been on sets and people have been on sets before where it's, you know, a little heavier or, you know, not as much fun, but I think our thing is always try to have fun. So I think people enjoy it, you know?
And like Brian Cox, like,
Yeah.
I mean, he's like this legendary stage actor and then like you know, done all these amazing, but he fits so into like the vibe you guys had in Super Troopers. Like it felt like he really was your guys' boss in that.
Yeah. Well, and he's, it's funny because we come from really opposite ends of things. Like he's a trained actor and he has traveled the world and done Shakespeare. And, you know, I think we felt there was certainly in Super Troopers 1 when we were shooting the end sequence where we're all driving around in the car with him. You know, I know the rest of us got stoned and we didn't tell him. And this is like 4 a.m. and we were just giggling and laughing and he was annoyed. He at one point he said, "Whatever happened to Kraft?" As he was
He did not say that. He really said that.
he was staring out the window wistfully.
That's
Said,
so
"Whatever
on
happened
brand.
to Kraft?" Oh yeah.
That's so funny.
But then when we were shooting Super Troopers 2, he and I were and Soder were standing outside a vestibule waiting for action to be called. And we were shooting and somehow we got on the subject of weed and he mentioned that he'd been getting high every night. And we were like, "Wait a second, you get high?" He's like, "Of course I get high." And and we were like, "What do you have on you right now?" And he's like, "Dank Sinatra." And it was like, holy fucking shit, you do. And then, I mean, you know, I went on from there, but it was like, holy shit. Okay. That's another piece that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can feel that in all your movies and the show. It's like, I think it bleeds through this like feeling of like these guys had the best time making this movie. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And is there something you guys have done? Yeah. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just saying that's kind of what I was saying is like, it's a thing where you just try to create, like we never try to be mean or spiteful. I feel like you guys are similar. It's like, you know, there's not a thing where you try to be mean or take the other person down. You know, if we're making fun of somebody, it's usually making fun of ourselves. If you retaliate against someone, it's because they did something to you, and it makes it kind of a more inviting world.
There's like a code to it.
Yeah, and so I think that's part of it. It's also part of it that we've known each other for so long, and then the Tacoma FD show. It's like Lemmy and I have known each other for so long. We know what annoys each other, about the other guy. We know, what makes the other guy laugh, that kind of stuff. And I think you can feel that if you're playing friends on camera and your friends off camera, it can help.
And I feel like the jokes have changed a little bit too. Like I was wondering in the pilot for Tacoma FD when you guys are working with the alpaca, and I love it so much that you guys have the saltine bit before, and then it circles back to be the solution with the alpaca. Like it was like a perfect way to like integrate the hijinks into like the story and to like actually have it work out. But I was wondering like if you guys were like would there have been a time where it wouldn't have worked with the alpaca? And now, like, it almost felt like Tacoma FD was like a little more, I don't know if it was like positive in the outcomes, but like a little more like the hijinks works for the solution more or something like that.
Right. That there's a positive outcome or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
As opposed to a negative outcome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's interesting because we have, in our first season, they brought in some writers who were polished television showrunners to mentor us because we had never done that before. And I think those guys really I think they helped elevate our television writing, just to help us. It was the first time I think we'd worked with anybody. It was a fresh new set of voices that I don't know if it was to help hone us or to just make us a little bit more, I don't want to say mainstream, but like just more television friendly, where it's like there is a rhythm to TV that works.
Right.
Like we don't, like I know in Super Troopers 1 and 2, it's like we end on, hey, we got screwed again, or we don't know how things are going to work out. And it's like the TV show doesn't really happen that way. Like we tie everything up.
But I think also maybe what JT was saying is like another thing that we've been pretty conscious about is that, when we did Super Troopers, there was this kind of idea of comparing us to like the police academy or stuff like that, which is, more bumbling cops or whatever it was, which was never our intention. And I don't know that it's even true in Super Troopers, but when we were doing this new show, we were kind of like, we have to show respect for these guys, the first responders, and, to show them as being good at their jobs was kind of an important thing for us.
You guys are like a little bit cooler. Yeah.
So like the idea was, you don't want to make fun of it in the sense of these guys are not good at their job. The idea is they're good at their jobs, but they also like to have fun. And so I think when we approach each kind of like firefighter scenario or whatever, we try to say like, oh, okay, how do we make these guys look good and respectable and show our respect for that while at the same time having fun, So I think that's probably part of what we do.
Did you guys have relatives who are cops or firefighters? Like, did you have
Heffernan
people you knew that you sort of had some knowledge of that?
Yeah, I have a few family members who are firefighters, and but they always, whenever we make Super Troopers, they're always like, oh, cops are really funny, but what's really funny is firefighters. So if you guys ever want to do a firefighter show, talk to us. And so we when we pitched the show and we put it together, we went back and talked to my this cousin Bill, we call him, and he ended up becoming our technical consultant. And he's just a dude from Connecticut. He's a firefighter for 27 years, and we got him to come out here to the set. And as soon as he showed up, he started wearing Hawaiian shirts. He started driving a convertible, wearing sunglasses. It was hysterical.
Yeah,
and he was like a
awesome.
cliche technical advisor, but awesome because he'll tell us when we look like idiot. He's like, you're not wearing your hat right, or you're not using that pack right, or you're not holding your axe right. He'll tell you that. And now, the authenticity is something I think firefighters like. We hear from the firefighters like, oh, that's like our station. And it's because the technical stuff that he does for us. So.
Although the other day he kind of, we actually interviewed him. We have an after show after Tacoma FD. It's called Tacoma FD, and we had him on as a guest. We just interviewed him, and he laid out like 4 or 5 things that we fucked up that he disagreed with. And I wish he had told us at the time that like these are violations of things, but he didn't. And anyway, that's it.
Creative license, but
yeah. No, he's mad at us. Or maybe, but he said he'd relaxed a little bit because we seem to have learned so much about being firefighters that he kind of loosened the reins.
Thinks we know what we're doing. Maybe he's just becoming too Hollywood, man.
That's what he's the definition of gone Hollywood.
Yeah, if anyone's ever trying
a convertible lately.
Yeah, I've been driving a convertible lately. I borrowed my mom's convertible.
What kind?
Yeah. It's like good. a
Cabriolet,
BMW like 2 Series. The new, they've changed all their numbers around. I think it's a 2 Series. Yeah, but today I drove through. I was feeling so good. I've been like kind of happy lately. I drove through the gate of my apartment building. Like, it's supposed to open up, and I was just feeling so good. I was like checking a text message, bopping to music, and right in front of my landlord, I just drove straight through the gate, knocked it off the axis, and just.
Oh, really?
I was like, Elliot was like, "What are you doing?" And I was like, "Dude, I'm just a fucking idiot. I've been in enough."
Did you mess up the car?
It got a little bit of a ding on it. I think if I buff it out, it would be pretty hard to tell. But yeah, I did give it a little. You can see like where one of the gate rails went into the car, or the car went into it rather.
Your mom didn't get pissed then?
I haven't told her yet.
Jonathan Parr, you get out here right now.
Jonathan Thomas
Parr, you get out here right now.
She'll be almost too nice.
She's
Like,
Colombian.
Thomas, what happened?
Yeah.
Thomas, you have to pay attention. And then her boyfriend will probably be upset, but he's like a really nice guy, so he'll be like, "It's okay," but he'll probably be mad.
Well, when I was staying at his mom's house, she knew she was in Missouri, but she knew how to turn on the jacuzzi. So I'd be like, "JT, I need to hop in for a soak." And he'd call his mom. She'd be like, "Amor." He's like, "Mom, I need the jacuzzi." She's like, "Okay."
Yeah, she's very
just
nice.
like turn on. She was like watching us from
yeah, she's
Missouri
got cameras.
because there's cameras, I guess.
Yeah.
Now, Lemmy, would his mom and your dad get along? I mean, being Colombian and Argentinian?
Well, apparently his mom doesn't like Argentinians.
Dude, she used to talk smack on him, and then I had an Argentinian, which I actually said Argentines earlier. And Steve and I had an Argentinian babysitter, and I actually spilled the beans. I was like, "Yo, my mom like says y'all are like this and that," and then I guess the lady told my mom when she got back, but I was already snoozing, so I missed the conflict.
Yeah, but here's the thing: it's like every Hispanic knows that Argentinians are the number one Hispanics. After that, it's like my wife is Cuban, so I'll humor her. And I mean, Cubans are are cool, good-looking people. Colombians are pretty good too.
But what's the knock on the Colombians? What do the Argentinians say about the Colombians?
What is the knock? What's up?
I don't know. You guys are kind of back ass.
What does back ass mean? That's probably pretty back ass of me to ask that. What is back?
Yeah, exactly. Like not worldly, like hillbillies.
What? Dude, my mom says Colombians speak the best Spanish in the world, though. She says Colombian Spanish is the most beautiful, but that might be her,
Yeah.
And who has the better soccer team?
Argentina.
Oh, yeah, they're one of the best, right?
I mean, if you want to win with a guy like Maradona, who, brings shame and disgrace on.
Sure.
No, I'm going.
But wait, Colombia is where they killed the guys.
Saying that as it came out.
Didn't they kill the guy who scored the goal against their own?
Their own goal, yeah.
Escobar, the two Escobars.
The two Pablos, yeah. I
remember when I was watching that doc with my friend, and they were like, he's like, "What happens to the other Escobar?" And I'm like, "Do you see him as one of the talking heads in this documentary?"
Yeah.
I was like, yeah.
That's a great documentary, by the way.
It's so good. Yeah, those guys are amazing.
Yeah. Well, no, it's also, it's like Pablo, it's kind of like, do you guys watch The Mandalorian?
Yeah.
The Mandalorian. I mean, it's like, that's essentially Colombia once Pablo Escobar died. The empire is gone, Pablo Escobar is gone, and now all hell breaks loose because they were the ones who were kind of maintaining law and order.
That's deep. That shit's deep, Lemmy.
You know what I'm saying?
Interesting.
Iraq after Saddam too, where we're like, I guess like having a despotic leader kind of keeps things together a little bit when there's a lot of warring factions.
The Mandalorian's modern day allegory, bro.
Dude.
Man,
put an allegory in there,
dude.
Bro, man,
it makes it hit, dude.
Allegory really is. You pop off some allegory. That's a chapter closer. You're like, okay, let's move on to the next subject.
Right.
You just busted out some allegory.
Yeah, it's like everything in the 70s was supposed to be Nixon, right? Like it was all about like Watergate paranoia and stuff like that.
Yeah, it was an allegory, man.
Yeah.
It was, as they say, it was allegorical.
Yeah.
Yeah. That fires me up, dude.
Did you ever see that movie Mother?
No,
dude, I didn't watch
the Jennifer Lawrence movie.
Right. I heard it wasn't good though. Is it not good, or is it good?
I haven't seen it, but it's allegory.
Wow. I'll definitely check it out.
I didn't see you throwing that out there. That was good.
Wasn't it directed by Darren
Aronofsky? Yeah, Darren Allegorsky.
Yeah. Okay.
Allegorovsky.
Yeah.
I'm definitely in this.
Yeah.
Selling point.
What's up, guys? I'm interrupting this podcast to let you know once again that we are brought to you by Manscaped. Manscaped, thank you so much for keeping our trims pubed, for looking after our hogs, for making sure that our dongles are looking fresh and clean. Because what do you do throughout the day to stay fresh? I'll take some apple cider vinegar.
Me too,
I'll
bro.
eat JT too.
Let's go.
I'll eat bacon. I'll do some assault bike, and then I'll trim my pubes. Okay? Because if you're bored in the house, why not play with your balls? Our sponsor today, Manscaped, is here to make sure your balls are smooth while you or your partner are playing with them. Manscaped promotes clean hygiene when it comes to shaving your balls thanks to their Lawnmower 3.0. Manscaped is our go-to brand for below-the-waist grooming and hygiene. And while you're probably looking for new things to do at home, why not make manscaping part of your routine? Okay? Because Manscaped is forever changing the grooming game with their Perfect Package 3.0. This kit comes with the Lawnmower 3.0, the cordless body trimmer, a ton of other liquid formulations to round out your manscaping routine. And you're not going to cut your balls because they have advanced skin-safe technology. And Manscaped obsesses over this technology, guys. Okay, they obsess hard. They make sure that your balls are all good and they feel good. And then you can get the Manscaped Crop Preserve, an anti-chafing ball deodorant and moisturizer. you're probably sitting on the couch with your hand on your balls anyway, so you might as well keep those smooth eggs smelling fresh. You know, there's nothing better than knowing. I mean, walking around town with like fresh nuts where you're just like, damn, I got good nuts.
Yeah.
I mean, JT, how does that make you feel?
Dude, I just feel 10 feet tall and bulletproof, and I feel like I deserve the world and everything in it. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. So for a limited time, get 2 free gifts: the Shed Travel Bag and the patented high-performance anti-chafing Manscaped Boxer Briefs. I mean, you get 20% off plus free shipping with the code GODEEPWW@manscaped.com. Do yourself a favor and always use the right tools for the job. Get 20% off and free shipping with the code GODEEPWW@manscaped.com. Make playing with your balls the best part of your day. Thank you, Manscaped. All right, back to the show.
Do you know, I think I met you guys briefly. I don't know if the whole crew was there, but I met some of you guys at a Sundance Film Festival. My friends and I used to just drive out there to watch movies. Like we'd do the wait list thing and just check out whatever we could.
Yeah.
And we met you guys at like the big pizza place that they have there, like Main Street Pizza or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And we were all downstairs waiting for the bathroom. And I mean this sincerely, you guys were chill as fuck. Yeah.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Lemmy wasn't his usual dickish self. Is that
I
what
don't
you're
think
trying to
Lemmy was there by the restroom, but the guys who did meet were chill as fuck. Yeah.
say? I remember that
Should I have
place.
just said you were there?
Yeah, come on, dude.
Yeah, sorry, dude.
Dude,
I
So
didn't-
fucking come
we
on.
would go there regularly late
Yeah.
night. That would be the late night stop. Get some pizza after it was all said and done.
Dude, yeah, that was a cool place. I actually, I had some wild times there. Yeah.
At the pizzeria? Or at Sundance?
Yeah. At both. Yeah.
I actually just had an interaction on Twitter. Morgan Freeman put up that video on Twitter of the dude eating the watermelon with his dog next to him also eating a watermelon. Have you seen that video?
No.
I haven't seen it.
It's a guy eating a watermelon. He's wearing a shirt, and then the dog's got a matching shirt, and the dog has his paws on watermelon and is eating.
Really?
Look at the guy eating watermelon. Yeah. And I was like, I'd really love to see, and Morgan Freeman posted it. And I wrote, I'd really love to see Morgan Freeman narrating this thing. And then he wrote back, it was actually Morgan J. Freeman. He's not that Morgan Freeman, but he is the Morgan J. Freeman who directed a movie called Hurricane Streets, which was
Great movie.
which was at Sundance when we were there with our first movie, Puddle Cruiser. And he said, I hung out with you guys at a party. He didn't say we were chill as fuck, but he did say we had a good time.
Whoa, dude, my brother and I were just talking about
nice.
Hurricane Streets. That's weird.
Oh,
That's
really?
like a month ago, but we were talking about it. That was a good movie.
Yeah.
Like it's tight, like script, the ending with the dad getting popped in the head and the whole vibe. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Spoiler alert. Yeah. So
Spoiler alert.
I was tweeting. Me and Morgan Freeman were tweeting at each other about Sundance parties.
But I'm confused. It's not the Morgan Freeman movie star Morgan Freeman. Okay.
No, it was Morgan J. Freeman.
That would be
Correct.
impressive.
He's not changing his name to something else.
Yeah, you would think
Put a
so.
J in there.
But that's like, Michael B. Jordan, the actor. Like, what do you say to him? Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, he's kind of killing it. What were you gonna say, Chad?
he is killing it.
I was just wondering, did you think it was the other Morgan Freeman when he tweeted that, and then you realized after, or did you know it was the director?
Do you know what? When I saw, like, it notified me on my phone, Morgan J. Freeman, I immediately was like, of course it's not Morgan Freeman. Of course it's not Morgan Freeman. And then, he reminded me that we'd hung out at, anyway, he reminded me that we'd hung out at Sundance many years ago.
But you've been working on a Morgan Freeman impression, haven't you, Lemmy?
You know I have.
Dude, hit it. Let's hear it.
Yeah,
Give it to us,
yeah.
man.
I want to hear
Come on,
this.
We can all try one. So you're
Okay.
not alone in this.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, now, what Andy didn't realize was, that's it.
Dude,
That's
you know
good,
what?
man.
I was gonna bring up
good.
Andy in my impression too. You got to bring up Andy.
Me too.
Right?
I had Andy
Sure.
in my dome.
I
Yeah.
miss my friend Andy.
Yeah. I miss my friend Andy. It's not good. Okay.
That's the
Yeah,
quickest
I think it's
song
pretty good. I think
we've
it's
ever
I'm
done in a
God.
performance, right?
Ooh, whoa, wait a second. Did you hear that?
What,
Did
Chad
you-
had one?
Huh?
Go ahead, Chad.
Did that sound good?
Yeah, do it
think
again.
so.
Jim Carrey, I'm God.
That's good. That's good.
But he doesn't say that in the movie.
Does
he
that
say the
sound
actor's
good?
name? He didn't say Jim Carrey in the movie.
No. I forgot the character's name.
Oh, dude, I didn't even clock that. Yeah, no, he was Jim Carrey in that movie for sure. That would have been interesting.
Yeah.
Well, do you guys think that's the quintessential Morgan Freeman performance? Shawshank?
I mean,
probably, yeah. Did he win the Academy Award for that?
I think so. He should have at least. That was 94. Best.
I think that was probably. It's probably
yeah.
He
Unless it was
tunneled.
John Turturro in Quiz Show. I'm kidding.
That's who won that year, 94.
Yeah.
Turturro Quiz Show.
Yeah. Yeah,
Andy-
or maybe Glory. He's really good in that too.
oh, fucking A.
Yeah.
Glory. That movie's good.
It's so good, right?
Yeah.
I like Along Came a Spider, but that's whatever. What are you guys doing?
Yeah. Little Jay Patterson, dude, that author, I used to read his books like crazy. You could just pound him in like a day.
Yeah, Kiss the Girls and Along Came a Spider, yeah.
All of his killers were sexy.
7.
Yeah.
Every one of his killers was like good with women and always getting laid. And
Yeah.
it was like, it was kind of like, you were like, oh, it's kind of hot to be a serial killer.
Yeah, and Kiss the Girls, there were 2 of them on each coast, and they found each other and, killed girls together and boned chicks.
They bonded. Tough to find. There was 2 guys tried to kill the singer Joss Stone together or kidnap her with swords. And my brother and I always thought that was kind of special that those 2 guys found each other. Like 2 guys who wanted to
It's like destiny.
them pop star. Yeah. I mean, how many of those guys end up just being alone their whole lives?
Sure.
Now, Andy tunneled through 150 yards of human feces. It's not good. It's not good. We had Will Sasso on our podcast, and Sasso came on and broke down Morgan Freeman in 5 minutes and was doing an incredible Morgan Freeman. And
That guy's talented. He's a ball of talent.
Did you guys see the one on Arnold Schwarzenegger? He did the do you remember the Imagine video that all the celebrities did?
Yeah.
He did the one with did you see that clip he did with like where it cuts to Arnold? He's doing Arnold, or he just did the voiceover for Arnold. He's like, "Look at this donkey."
Yeah. He had that
You guys
string
know
of
what I'm talking
videos. It was in Vine. When Vine existed,
Yeah.
he was on a tear
Yeah.
doing Arnold Schwarzenegger things. They were just so funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We were actually talking
Yeah,
about
they're like
Arnold Rock.
singing Imagine. And he's like, "What's it?"
No, go ahead.
They were saying Imagine. And he's like, I can't even do the impression on it.
Do
He's
it.
like, get up,
Just
come
do
on,
it,
get
Chad.
down with the sickness. I ruined it. Don't cut that out, JT.
No, you nailed it.
I suck, dude. I suck.
No, you nailed it. You nailed it.
Build it, man.
Thank you guys.
Yeah, you're welcome.
I was wondering, did you guys? So when you guys graduated college, did you have like a plan to go out to LA and write a movie and sell it, or like did you just sort of like go out to LA and just like we're gonna see what happens? Like how
No, we didn't actually. Lemmy, I didn't move to
Okay.
LA until we had failed, right, Lemmy?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because we graduated from school, and then we all moved to New York City, and then we started doing live comedy shows there in New York City, and then and then we just started making like short films and stuff we would show in our shows and stuff, and then ultimately we made our first feature, which we took to Sundance. It's called Puddle Cruiser, and then we kind of got the ball rolling that way, and that's how we got Super Troopers made. And then we did Super Troopers, Club Dread. We lived in New York, and then after that, Club Dread didn't do well at the box office, and so we decided to move out to LA.
Well, Club Dread opened up against The Passion of the Christ.
Oh,
And,
I saw that opening weekend. I went to Catholic school.
Yeah. Well,
See, that's what we were doing. We were standing in New York City. We were standing in a movie theater in Times Square, and we'd go there to see who was going to see our movie, and then we would watch these dudes walk in, and we knew that they were our demographic. They're going to see our movie, and then there would be people standing there who had bought out all the tickets, like church groups from Passion of the Christ, and they're handing out free tickets to anybody who walked in. And that's when we knew we were in trouble because everyone took a ticket. What's that?
Oh, dude.
Came out on Easter, Passion of the Christ, or something?
No,
like
it was in February.
Oh, okay. I remember I was in love with this girl, Cheyenne, and we saw it together, and she was like really freaked out by it, and I remember cuddling her.
Mm.
I was like, this is the closest we'll ever be.
You use it to your advantage, man. You use it to your advantage.
Yeah, but I went to church after I saw it that day. I was feeling super Catholic. Yeah,
Repent.
I went straight to St. Eddie's, Dana Point, and I was like, "Oh, dude, give me some of this God." Yeah.
Your experiences were better than ours. Ours sucked. We were depressed.
Yeah, you guys must have been pissed at the Passion
Yeah.
Crash. Like fucking Mel Gibson, dude.
Yeah, it made like $125 million in like 3 days. We're like, oh,
Yeah.
He's like a
it's
billionaire.
not even in English.
Yeah.
It's in some language doesn't exist anymore.
Well, that was like we were so cocky beforehand. Like the studio was like, the movie's not in English. Don't worry about it. And we were like doing interviews, and we're like, we're gonna kick God's ass. We're taking God down. And then he smote us. He crushed us. We that happens to us all the time. Like we last week, you know, at our mid-season premiere of Tacoma FD, we returned to TV and went up against Major League Baseball opening day, and that significantly hurt our numbers. And this week,
wow,
yeah, this week we're
You guys
going
are way
up.
better than baseball.
Well, not that night. And this Thursday, we're going up against NBA opening night. So it's like,
Yeah.
yeah, we have bad luck, I think, Kev.
You know, we're doing all right.
Yeah, you guys are crushing.
Yeah.
We were talking before the podcast started. We were having a pretty riveting conversation about Arnold versus The Rock.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Maybe we could recreate that. Where do you guys
Sure.
fall in this epic debate?
Well, we are, first of all, we are huge Schwarzenegger fans. There's no question about that. But if you're going to ask me, I don't know. I might take The Rock.
Dude.
I might take The Rock now in his prime.
I take Schwarzenegger in his prime. You know, and I love
The Rock has more range, though. You got to admit, he's got more range.
I don't know that he
know.
does. And in fact,
Schwarzenegger can't do Moana. You kidding me?
you don't know that.
dude,
I
think
know
Schwarzenegger's
that.
Moana too.
Should
I
we
don't
do
know, dude.
Schwarzenegger singing "You're Welcome"?
Yeah.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Yeah, welcome. Yeah,
But like
you know.
Schwarzenegger played the Terminator. The Rock has never played a bad guy. And
Sure he has. What was that? Driven? What was that movie? Or was it? There's a movie where he's a bad guy.
Is he bad in that,
I think so, isn't he?
or is
I
he
don't
just
know.
misunderstood?
Oh, no, I know. Spawn. Isn't he a bad
The
guy in the
original
movie Spawn?
I don't know.
With Michael Jai White.
What? Not Spawn. What's the one? It's in space and it was based on a video game. Is it
Oh,
Spawn?
Doom?
Oh, Doom.
Yeah.
Yeah, he is a bad guy in Doom. Carl Urban's a good guy.
The
Fuck
Rock
you
is in
guys.
Doom.
But he doesn't turn bad until like the third act, though. He's
Spoiler
mostly
alert.
a good guy.
Yeah. But Arnold took the world by storm. I mean, it's like, you know, like then you go
For
Conan
him
versus
to have absolutely no acting talent. I mean, it was built for him for that reason.
But I think he's better at comedy though. I have to say.
Arnold.
Schwarzenegger?
Arnold.
Yeah,
Oh.
Arnold.
Dude, well, this is the point I was making is that,
Kindergarten Cop's a good movie.
yeah, and Twins is a good movie too.
And Jingle
Arnold-
All the Way.
Yeah.
This
Maybe.
is bullshit, though, because now you guys are setting up a scenario where you got like, this is like a pick between Beatles and the Stones thing, where I don't have to
Right.
pick between the Beatles and the Stones. I like them
No.
both.
Right. But Kevin, you don't like these hypothetical conversations either.
No.
You know, like we would say, which would you rather do? Would you rather do this with Karl Malone or do that with Patrick Ewing? And you'd be like, it would never happen, so it doesn't matter, you know?
Oh wow, that's actually one of my things I do on Instagram. I just ask my roommate either ors like that.
Yeah,
Like, I'm
Kevin
like,
won't play those. Don't ask Kevin. He won't play with you.
I'm like dinner with like Sean Kemp or like brunch with Patrick Ewing.
It'll never happen. That's what Kevin wants to say. It'll never happen.
It might. With that attitude, it won't, dude.
It's not
Yeah,
real.
I think that could be in the cards. Yeah. I'd probably.
Well,
do
I'd make a movie with either of
Kemp.
those guys, The Rock or Schwarzenegger.
I would too. But when I was a kid and Schwarzenegger was coming up, like he was a god. He was.
Yeah, no, I mean, once you hit like Predator, you're great.
But
You're
like
in great shape.
when he took off his shirt, like you'd be waiting, like Commando. You're like, when's he gonna take off his shirt? And then he'd do it. When it came time
Sure.
to kick some ass, he'd take off
Well,
his
he
shirt.
does that in the opening scene, though. He's carrying that log.
Yeah, but he's got his shirt on.
Commando.
But he's got his shirt on. But he doesn't take his shirt off until he paddles the raft to the island.
In a bikini,
Yes.
in a bikini
Mhm.
bathing suit.
The Rock's not doing that these days. You know.
And was
Yeah.
Schwarzenegger the first guy to walk with a machine gun while all the bad guys are scurrying, and he's just walking?
Tough call, because Stallone. Then they were that was the beauty of it. It was kind of like
They were pushing each other.
they were
Cobra.
yeah, I mean, you had Cobra, you had Rambo, you had all those things, and it's like they would top each other with body count.
Right.
It was like Sosa McGuire in their home run derby.
Did you guys read though? Have you guys
Similar
read that
drug
like in
attributes,
the Fast and the Furious contracts, like Vin Diesel and The Rock, it was like contractual that neither of them could win a fight against the other one.
Yeah, that was a bit of a bummer.
What about
discussed it on
that?
here.
Vin Diesel or The Rock?
What was it that they can't lose a fight ever? They have to win every
Something
time.
Yeah.
contractually.
Stay
Like
the
Vin's
Yeah.
sister keeps track of how many times Vin gets punched. With
Right.
like a
Yeah.
counter.
But who do you take in that? Are you Vin Diesel or are you guys The Rock?
I'm Vin Diesel.
really.
Okay.
I'm the
Yeah,
Rock. I'm
Not
the
on
Rock.
body of. Oh, actually on body of work too, but just on gravitas. I don't
Sure.
know. Vin Diesel's speech in the first Fast and the Furious about living his life a quarter mile at a time. I don't know if The Rock has ever hit that level of magnitude. And I'm being straight up sincere. I mean that like
Okay.
from my gut. Yeah.
Yeah, I think with Schwarzenegger and Vin, they're a little bit more raw. Like the Rock is a little bit too polished. Where
Right.
you're like, he has too much charisma. Like his teeth are too shiny. His Instagram captions are like too perfect.
Sure.
Right.
He'd never fuck the maid and have a kid.
Yeah.
Right?
Well,
Is that
Arnold,
what we're saying?
exactly.
Allegedly.
That's what it boils down to. No, that's not
Yeah.
alleged. That actually happened. The kid.
Is that not what allegedly means?
Yeah, no,
If the Rock put up an Instagram video where he's like doing curls and he's like, lifting feels like coming, I'd rethink my stance on him a little bit.
you're right.
Okay.
You're right.
You want a
And-
little more edge to The Rock.
By the
Yeah.
way, Pumping Iron, that movie is an exercise in sports psychology. Like he
Yes.
picks apart the Ferrignos, father
great.
and son,
Dude.
Right.
and it's amazing. And by the way, his body is sick. Like
Yeah.
you liked to look at his body; it was sick.
The way
And
he dominates
I
his
read it-
dad, heartbreaking.
Oh,
Yeah, it is heartbreaking.
I read his biography, and he talks about how he would like try to like fake them out a little bit. Like when he's doing a pose, he would do like a move where it looked like he was finishing the pose, and then he'd go back to the pose.
Right.
And so then Lou would finish his pose a little bit earlier, so he'd stay in the pose for like 10, 15 seconds longer, and that's how he would edge him out.
Yeah, I think they have that in Pumping Iron, right? Where he that's one of his little strategies.
Yeah.
I hit the double bicep, and he thought I was done with my poses. And
Yeah.
then I hit the rear double bicep, and I flattened
Yeah.
him.
And
Yeah.
that's when I knew I had him.
This is a genius.
Yeah.
Does that work? Yeah.
Yeah,
We went to his office, and he has photos of him with like every president, like him and George H.W. Bush on a sled, and then he has just like he has like statues from Russia, and then like a dresser drawer full of swords. I'm like, this guy
He's an American success story. He's
Yeah.
the American dream.
Yeah.
That's what he
His
is.
Yeah.
greatest regrets, they won't let him run for president. Yeah, his drawer,
Yeah.
his main drawer at his desk, you open it, you think there's going to be like yellow legal pad and tape. It's just knives.
Yeah.
You're
I
like-
believe it. I
Yeah.
believe it. I believe
I
it.
I heard a similar thing about Gary Busey on his like Comedy Central show, Leave It to Busey or something. He had a briefcase and no one ever knew what was in it. And then one day a PA opened it and it was just chocolate bars.
I thought you
I
said
don't
guns.
mean to pick on the Buse, dude. Under Siege legend, but
I know. I just watched Lethal Weapon again the other day.
dude, one of the best ever. Merton Riggs,
Mr.
I mean, come on.
Joshua. Mr.
Yeah.
Joshua, come on.
Is that your favorite? Who do you think? What duo? You guys are a duo. We're a duo. Which duos do you think had like the best on-screen chemistry?
I don't know that they did. I don't know if Glover and
Really?
Gibson. You guys think they did?
I feel like they're real. I've heard they're real life friends. Like D. Glover would
Are
always
they?
stand up for Mel when he would say something insane or do something crazy. Yeah.
I liked them. I mean, Cheech and Chong.
Chris Tucker, Jackie Chan.
Yeah.
They had good blooper
Sure.
reel. They had a
I
good.
don't think that they were good friends.
You don't think so?
I don't think so.
Do you think one of them wanted to be friends and the other guy was like, nah, I'm good?
I bet neither of them wanted to be friends with the other one.
Yeah.
I don't get that vibe, right?
No.
Have you guys worked with duos or like teammates who didn't get along? Like, they say like Hall and Oates, they can't be in like the same cab together or something like
Well,
that.
we did. We went down the road of writing a movie for Cheech and Chong,
Oh, that's right.
and just a couple of years ago, maybe 4 or 5 years ago, and you get them in the room, and they just, I mean, it's sad, like you see behind the curtain or whatever, but
Damn, that
they
is
fight,
sad.
they fight,
Mm.
Do they fight
And,
about comedy or they fight about like life shit?
Well, we had a funny moment. It was like we were trying to hash through this plot point or whatever in the plot, trying to put a movie together for them, and it just wasn't going anywhere. And so Lemmy like stops we were in a agency or whatever, in a management company at their conference table. We were all sitting around this conference table, and Lemmy was like, you know what?
And there were agents around. There were like
Agents, reps, all those people. And Lemmy looks at Cheech and Chong and was like, you know what, guys? I think we can solve this by let's just get high together. Let's smoke a joint together. And in a heartbeat, Cheech goes, not going to happen, bro. Like, just shut him down in front of all these people.
And then in an extra heartbeat, Chong goes, why not, man?
Is Cheech
And
just
then
not that dude?
And they just went head to head.
We actually did hang out with Cheech and get high with him at the Cannabis Cup, probably a couple months later after that. And it was fine, although he took a dab for the first time and he went down.
Whoa.
I think but that was a situation where it was like literally everybody's reps. I've never been in a writing room like that. Like, we were there to meet and greet with each other and started to talk about the plot, and there were suits standing around. There
Around
were
the edge of the
jacket
room,
and tie,
yeah.
like just like we were in a fishbowl, and it's like
And Cheech was like, let's just talk business, He was just kind of, But it was funny because Chong immediately went to, why not, man? Come on. And then you could see that they started butting heads a little bit.
Interesting.
yeah.
Is there some things you guys have learned or done to sort of maintain the sanctity of the squad throughout your careers?
I've learned more from TV writing with Kevin than I have, I think, writing the movies, which is that, like, you can't when you collaborate, you're going to have disagreements. Mm-hmm. And it's like, if you think of it as a fight that you have to win, nobody's going to win, because all you're doing is creating bad blood. And like with a TV show now, I mean, Kevin and I are filming essentially like 3+ movies worth of material per season. And so we kind of don't have the time to disagree. And we're also like, if we're writing and then we're shooting and then we're editing, that's a lot of moments to disagree. And so, like, kind of retroactively, what I realize is that, like, like, I don't like to argue. I don't like to have creative arguments. And so many arguments we had in Broken Lizard were like, you just want to win. You lose sight of what the actual joke is. And you just like, I just want to win my point. And that's not healthy. And so I think from TV, what I've learned is, like, you just have to assess how strongly you feel about it. And if you don't feel that strongly about it, plus you're gonna write another day and shoot another day. It's
like, get him on the next one.
yeah. I mean, that's
we also had a few rules, though. We had a few Broken Lizard rules. Like, we had a pretty strong rule about nobody ever taking credit, like individual credit for a joke. Mm-hmm. Like, people would always ask that question, like, hey, who wrote that one, or who wrote that one? And once you start getting into that world, then it becomes a problem. So, like, we always had kind of a pretty hard and fast rule of, we all wrote it. We all did it together. We all, and that was something we kind of stuck to, which I think it's a little healthier than
that's smart.
Divvying up credit,
Do you guys have moments where you just like look at each other and you're like, oh my God, like, I can't believe we're at this point together right now?
We've had it a lot during this TV stuff. It's like, to be honest with you, I mean, we made movies for years, but movies are a difficult thing. Like, you make a movie once every 3-4 years, and we always wanted to have the fun of trying a TV show. And so now having this TV show, there are just tons of times where we stop and we're like, this is a blast, man. Like, I'm psyched that we are doing this and that we've gotten to the point that we can do this. And we say that to each other all the time when we're making the show.
Well, then it goes back to the thing I'm talking about, which is that, like, when you write a movie script, you got 90 pages essentially. And you're going to get one crack at shooting it, and then you're done. And then you make the movie, and that's it. And that's it for, 3 or 4 years. With the TV show, this last season we did 13 episodes. And so it's like, there's so many stories to tell. And you're just, and that's what's so great about it. It's like each week you're like, you're just telling a new funny story. It's just new jokes. And then when you're shooting it, you're like, oh, we're doing this week, and we're doing this week. And so it's like,
and then
it's
nothing
fresh.
has to be too precious, nothing has to be precious. Where you're like,
Right.
if I don't say it like this, whatever it is. Man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
making more stuff always seems like a good solution, because then it's like you don't ever get too, you don't care too much about the.
And then you also realize that a lot of the times when you think you're right, you're wrong. And yeah, a lot of times you think you're right. But and then the other guy knows that a lot of times when they think they're right, they're wrong. And a lot of times when they're right, they're right. So it's like, you get it, it's hit or miss. Comedy is just about trying shit, and and if it works, that's great, and if it doesn't,
it's interesting how sometimes if you think this goes like stand up or like making stuff, it's like if you think you killed it, usually you didn't kill it, or if you think you did poorly, usually you do a lot better than you thought. I mean, it's that sort of reversal seems to happen almost all the time.
No doubt. And I think that's, it's, for me anyway, it's been shooting this TV show and, answering your question, JT, about like, being where we were, or, did we, look at each other and say like, holy shit, I can't believe we've made it here. Now I do it. I actually think that like, I feel like I'm at the highest point I've ever been in my career, and like that everything we've done up to this point has led to this point.
Right.
And now it's like, I mean, I've had a blast making the Super Troopers movies, but now I'm having a blast. It's like I've got kids, and I'm making a TV show 5 minutes from my house, which is not a joke. And it's like, and it's awesome. We get to write it, we direct it, we act in it, and it's like
at the same time, that's what we say to other people. It's like, you get to remember all those steps. Like we can sit here and say how much fun we had making Club Tread and Super Troopers and Beer Fest, and try to impart that to people. Like, live in the moment of it. You know what I mean? Like, we don't get these opportunities. Like you guys are successful guys, and it's hard to get there, and people don't get that opportunity. And so the idea is embrace it when you're there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I've learned that a lot during the quarantine, because like we had some things we were working on that got put on pause, and it's just but it was a nice time to sort of reflect and not look for the end result so much and just enjoy the process. So it's been I've learned to sort of get a little bit more present during all this, for sure.
Yeah. No, I mean, by the way, it takes time to get there.
Yeah.
You don't always, I remember we made our first movie, Puddle Cruiser. I think we were like 25, 26 years old. And I remember we wrapped, and Jay and I looked at each other, and Jay goes, "Can you imagine if it's 4 more years before we get to make another movie?" And then we were like, and we laughed about it. And sure enough, it was 5 years before we made Super Troopers.
Yeah.
And it's like, and that's just the way it is. Like there's,
What was that like when you made Super Troopers? Because that was a game changer, right? Like that was like a big leap into just like the public consciousness.
It kind of was, but it was a slow burn, because it wasn't, we made it independently. We sold it at the Sundance Film Festival, and then they put it in the theaters, but it did fine, but it wasn't successful until it really hit DVD, right?
The second life, right?
Yeah, so it was a DVD movie, and it was the one that people passed around to each other, or they watched in the dorm rooms or whatever it was. So it really took like a couple of years after that for it to really hit. So it was kind of a weird slow burn thing.
So you didn't get never that moment where you're like, oh fuck, like it's all different now. It was like, I mean, like,
we had those moments that we thought it was going to be like when we sold it at Sundance. We're like, yeah, we did it, but it didn't really happen. I mean, certainly not for us. It didn't happen that way. It was a slow process,
But that was like the defining comedy film for a huge chunk of my like development.
But do you know a lot of people, like, it's not a lot of people who went and saw it in the theater, you know what I'm saying?
No, but you know how everyone, I wasn't on the football team, but I was friends with other guys because I'm a little bit of a jersey chaser. And all the football guys, they all watched it during like 2-a-days, and everybody was like, dude, like, and I think like every football team across America probably did. Yeah.
No, I mean,
people watched it, so.
Yeah, and that's what it's like. Little things happen. It's like all of a sudden, like an athlete will be being interviewed, and they'll throw a few meows into something, and then somebody would send us a clip. But we've had strange luck, It's like I remember when Netflix first started, 60 Minutes did a piece on them, and they were down in this is back when they were just doing DVDs, and they were down in like their warehouse or something. And the CEO was being interviewed by Leslie Stahl, and she said, "Do you know what all these movies are?" And he was like, "Yes, I know every single one of them." She said, "Okay, I'm going to pull one out at random, and let's see if you know what it is." And he said, "Okay." And she pulled one off the shelf, and she said, "Okay, Puddle Cruiser." And it was our first movie. And he said, "Okay, that's a movie made by these guys from the Broken Lizard comedy group. They're a sketch comedy group. They made a college movie called Puddle Cruiser." And our phones started ringing off the hook. And it's like, that's just dumb luck.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. Yeah.
What was it weird to sort of, when you start to really feel it kind of like, spreading into the zeitgeist more and more, like you just random people, or celebrities would mention it and stuff like that? Did you have?
Yeah, and the thing was, people would quote, like, people would walk up to you in the street and say, "Hey, say chicken fucker," or whatever, say a quote from the movie.
Yeah.
And that you started thinking, oh, okay, so it's making an impact. People were hearing about it. So
yeah, and then it was like we heard that like somebody was like, "Open this month's Rolling Stone magazine to page 83," and you open it up and like Justin Timberlake, it was like celebrity picks. And it was him, and then the Super Troopers poster. He's like, "This is what we watch on the tour bus. It's so stupid. We love it," And it's like, you're like, "Holy shit, this is crazy."
Yeah.
It's
JT.
crazy. Yeah, that's the other JT.
Yeah, dude, I thought you were talking to me for a second. I was like,
Oh man, the other one,
yeah, he's a beast. That guy,
the lesser one.
I saw his Man of the Woods tour. My mom got me tickets for it for my birthday. Yeah.
Did you have a special connection with him because of the JT thing, or what?
I wish it was actually more deep than it is. I do like him a lot. And I think it's become kind of cool for people not to like him. Like when he did his Super Bowl performance, a lot of my friends were like, "Oh, he's so lame now" and stuff. And all I saw was like cool professionalism. So I'm kind of still in the pocket for him, but I do think he needs to put out another album of bangers.
Although, have you listened to the Trolls soundtrack?
That song, "Can't Fight This Feeling." But I've been going to a lot of weddings, so I'm like, I might be. I remember I was going to too many weddings when I was like, I don't think I can dance to "Can't Fight This Feeling" again.
Yeah, but I mean, that's the definition of a banger hit right there. I mean,
for sure. You got to get up and
he
bounce that.
He just tossed that one off like to a kids movie.
Yeah,
kids movie.
I think that's actually better for him, because I think when he does an album, he's putting too much pressure on himself to be like
Sure.
Prince or something. But when he just does it for someone else, it's like, it's just pure flow.
I have faith in Timberlake. He's going to come back.
Let's go.
Like
talented. He's talented. He's funny. He's a good actor. Come on.
And he's a nice guy.
He's talented. Yeah.
Have you met him?
I have met him. I met him in it might have been my bachelor party in
Really?
Las Vegas. And Queen, do you remember this? Or maybe it was a different time in Las Vegas, but he was at the next table over with a big party of people. Mm-hmm. And I went over to him, and because I knew,
I remember that.
I knew he was a fan, and I said, "Hey, Justin, what's up?" And he looked up at me. I said, "Hey, Steve from Broken Lizard, I was in Super Troopers." He's like, "Oh man!" He got up and stood up, and it was like I was dealing with a lot of scornful looks from the people in his party, but we probably chatted for a good 5 to 10 minutes, and he could not have been nicer. Could not have been nicer.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
That makes me want to do a running segment on the pod where we're like, "Have you met Justin Timberlake, and was it a good experience?"
I give it a 10.
That's awesome. Do you guys want to answer some listeners' questions before we let you guys go?
Yeah.
To help them with like everyday issues they're dealing with.
Yeah.
You give him self-help?
It basically, yeah.
It's young horny bros, pretty much.
Okay.
But we're kind of diversifying. We're getting people, in their 20s, 30s, and then
old horny bros.
Some female listeners too.
Women.
Yeah. Horny is sort of the.
I see. Okay.
It's the horny umbrella.
Who isn't horny?
Good question.
Good question. I've had days where I'm not horny and it freaks me out. I'm like, what's going on here? Is it the Propecia?
JT told me he wasn't as horny lately, and it freaked me out. I'm like, you're horny all the time, dude.
I know, dude.
Is it the pandemic? Is that why? Is that what it is?
No, because at first the pandemic drove my horniness through the roof. Like that's how I was processing everything. I was like, just turn it into horniness. And then, but then I've had some weeks where it was completely dissipated, where I had no sexual urges in any which direction, not even if I was thinking weird things. And it made me a little bit concerned that maybe the juice was gone forever. I hit some kind of new part of my life where I just have to accept myself as a non-sexual creature, but it always comes around.
Like The Rock.
Yeah, like The Rock, dude.
Mm-hmm.
The Rock.
Yeah.
That's why I don't trust him. He's not horny enough.
Yeah,
Well,
but
he
if you could trade places, you would.
With The Rock?
Yeah.
Dude, I honestly,
Come on.
I think I should say yes, but I don't know if I would.
Come on. The biggest movie star in the world.
But I think I'd rather trade places with like
That's not the question. I didn't give you the
Chalamet.
hypothetical, JT. I didn't give you that.
That's true. That's true. Would I trade places with The Rock? You're right. I would be The Rock, and then I would take different roles. I'd play like a heroin addict, like prostitute.
Yeah, but I would definitely not pick Timothy Chalamet over The Rock. For God's
Yeah.
sake.
Wait. Did you say? Was that you did?
That's what he said. That's what he just said.
You want to be Timothy Chalamet?
Maybe I fucked up, dudes. I don't know.
Who would you rather be, The Rock or Timberlake?
The Rock.
Ooh.
Timberlake.
Okay.
Hard. That's tough.
How about you, Kev?
I don't
Dude,
know.
you're laughing at that like that indicates a lot about our personalities.
I mean, I think
you did
Timberlake's.
have
Yeah, you're
Yeah,
look like okay.
But Chad said it like he purred it out there. He was like Timberlake. And by the way, Chad, I did hear you say good quest before, which I like because I say good quest also.
I go Quesh. S-H.
Oh, you quest? I go quest.
Quesh. I like that.
Quest.
Maybe that's an East Coast, West Coast thing.
Oh.
It could be. It could be.
You had the T.
Quest. Are there no quests?
No questions for
I
you,
got
Lemmy.
one right here, and
No
it's
questions.
it's incredibly on the money with what we've been talking about. What's up, Stokemeisters? Sometimes they can be a little long, guys, so
Okay.
bear with us. Like many of my fellow men, have been insatiably horny throughout the past few months of the Q team, and have been unable to go out and shoot my shot at a potential GF and life partner. I recently connected with an absolute dime and a half, and I knew preteen over Instagram, and we both admitted to wanting to jump each other's bones. The problem is that I'm here in Austin, Texas, and she flew to DC to take refuge with family. My question is, how do I continue to stoke the fires of love without letting them fizzle out to embers until we're able to meet up in person when she comes back in a month? I'm not huge on texting, and I'm going to try wooing her over FaceTime. Any drinking game suggestions are appreciated. This last is a real catch, and I don't want to miss out on the opportunity of a forever friend in her because of an endless vortex of mundane text threads. Thanks in advance for the advice. Loving the pod. Stay safely stoked. Love, Johnny Biscuits.
Johnny Biscuits.
Johnny Biscuits.
I would say road trip. I mean, what's the problem with road tripping? I mean, can't you get in the car and you drive out there, right? From Austin to DC, how far is that? How far could that be?
I think because she's with her
15
folks,
hours?
so he can't bring the potential Rona into her household because it could.
I see.
You can't bring the Rona or the Bona. Yeah.
The Rona or the Bona?
Yeah.
If you bring the Rona via the Bona and you kill Daddy-O and Mama.
Mamiona? What about
Mamiona.
Zoom action? No, you can't do. There's got to be a lot of Zoom sex going on, isn't there, these days?
Yeah.
No?
Yeah.
Yeah,
You guys?
could turn Zoom into the drill factory.
But how do you guys do it? I mean, how are you doing it?
I've had Zoom sex.
So, and what does that look like? Like you smear your dick on the computer screen? Like what?
Doesn't look dissimilar to this in the setup, but don't worry, I can disassociate.
Okay.
And you're just you beat off in front of her?
Well, so I don't show my penis the whole time. It's kind of like the shark in Jaws. You just flash to it once every couple minutes to let people know it's lurking. And it has more power if you only show it once.
Wait, so you'll swim it by like that every now and then?
It'll just poke through the bottom of the screen. No, I'll probably be like up here, and then I'll just hit a quick flash down like that, and then
Sure.
if that's too much information. But that's
Okay.
kind of my de facto technique.
So can't Johnny Biscuits do that, or is that not? What do you think?
Yeah, if he's comfortable and she's comfortable with it, I don't see why not. Yeah, but I also don't think he should think that the text threads are so boring. Like, you don't have to blow her hair back every time you guys talk. Just, if you keep up a constant line of communication, you check in every once in a while just to say what up and, chat about the new Taylor Swift album or whatever.
Sure.
I think you just got to keep the ball in the air, and then when the time is right, you'll know, and then you'll say what up.
Yeah, I think text is not the way to go. I think he should call her up and have phone conversations with her, whether it's FaceTime.
What about old-fashioned letters? What about handwritten letters or delivered by a postman? Does anyone do that?
I think it's a great idea, Kev. I think it's a great idea. I worry that the youth of today doesn't have the attention span for that.
Oh, come on. It's nice to get a letter. I mean, come on.
It'd be a risk for sure, but I think it'd pay off.
Why a risk? What do you mean?
Just because I think the youth might think it's kind of weird.
I see. Okay.
Because
They'd
it's
be
abnormal.
like, yeah,
It's abnormal.
but if he wants to stand out,
Sure.
he's
Sure.
got,
He could write her a poem
yeah,
or
Oh.
make her a painting. But I think you know what I think is just get to know her without any pretense and just say, I want to get to know you. Like, this is a great time to get to know people. That's the silver lining of this thing, is that you get to reconnect with people who you haven't maybe seen in a while, and you can have conversations with people that you wouldn't normally have conversations with.
And it's also like not like she's out. Like it's like in a race, like in a NASCAR race. What's the flag who's watching Days of Thunder recently? What do you guess?
maybe.
The yellow flag, what is it where you can't pass the other cars, right? The yellow flag, right?
I think it's yellow. That's
Isn't that
caution,
what we're
right?
in right now? We're in the yellow flag stage. Like she can't go out with
Yeah.
anybody else. So,
Yeah.
You know what?
Yeah.
Let's hope that this chick is into race cars, because if that's the case, then you just came up with a great metaphor for the Q-teen and him. He could say, honey, this is like the yellow flag period of the race.
Yeah.
No one's going to pass anybody else out.
Yeah.
And then send her the scene with Tom Cruise and Nicole Kidman and be like, this is going to be you and me on the motorcycle.
That's right.
Once we're vaccinated, we're going to be cruising.
Sure.
To this
Yeah.
soundtrack.
And it's kind of hot to be waiting for one another and to have this, huge thing in the way. Like you're like, oh man, I just, he said that they'd already said that they wanted to jump each other's bones. So I don't think it's, crossing the line to reiterate that and be like, hey, like I really want you, and I'm pissed off that this pandemic is keeping us apart. But when it's over,
Sure.
Mom,
Just think when it's over, it's going to be explosive.
Yeah,
explosive.
exactly.
Mm.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
then you got to worry the expectations are too high. And then you pull up and you're like, oh no, like we've built this up for months. Is it going to live up
Yeah.
to it, or are we just gonna be two goofy humans making mistakes?
You're expecting Days of Thunder.
Yeah, exactly. I got to tell you the truth. I got boner problems. This is tough for me. I don't know if this is going to work out. Yeah. I need a lot of intimacy and build up. Yeah. But that conversation can be great too. Yeah.
Yeah, but I do like the idea of calling on the phone and maybe not texting all the time, so you're not available all the time. But then those, phone calls, maybe once every 2-3 days. I think that'll keep the passion high.
Oh yeah. Oh no, for sure. It's romantic hearing their voice as you go to sleep. The lights are off in bed, and you're just like, maybe you've got them on speakerphone or not, and your eyes are closed, and you're just sitting there with your mega boner going, like talking to this girl. Those are beautiful times.
Yeah.
Then just drill yourself.
Look at this. My son's here, I think. What's up, buddy?
So, when are you going to take these things out?
Oh, tomorrow. Here's my kid over here. He broke his arm on July 4th.
Oh,
Oh,
no, dude. Were you
man.
getting after it?
What? Theo, how did you break your arm?
I just don't want to.
You don't want to tell? Were you getting after it?
Hey, dude, it's your biz, bro. I understand.
Hey, whatever happens, man.
Yeah.
Right?
You don't have to tell. You did it on July 4th. A bummer.
Oh man.
Intensity in 10 cities. I can feel it.
Yeah, he was getting after it. He was getting after it.
There was something cool about having a cast, when you're a kid though. You kind of
Sure, give people, your friends, to sign it and shit.
yeah.
Do you want people to sign your cast, buddy?
But here we are again. We're in a pandemic, so who's going to sign your cast? You know what I mean?
Right.
That's the
What do you have?
problem.
What do you have in your hand? Look at this. He's got guitar picks in his hand.
Oh,
Oh,
nice.
nice.
Yeah, these are guitar picks.
Do we have any guitars?
We do have a guitar
Wait.
behind the chair over there. Is a nice guitar in a case.
Oh. Can I use one of these pictures?
Yeah, you can use that picks. That pick. That's all right.
Oh, that was nice.
Yeah.
It's a little family pick from all the boner talk. By the way, that's what happens.
Got wholesome real quick. Yeah.
Yeah. It's part of
Sure.
life. It's a cycle of life, guys.
You're right. You get a boner, and then you get a kid like that.
That's
the way it works.
exactly what happens. Exactly what happens.
There's an allegory in there. I got
It
allegory.
really is. It really
Yeah.
is.
Yeah, that's
Um,
allegory.
All right, we got another question. This one's a little long, guys. Urgent inter-squad beef. What up to the Stoke Lords and possible guests? These are dire times for the squad. We are a crew of 10 that's rolled together since freshman year, now going into our senior year of university. The beef concerns two guys in the squad, Cody and James. Names altered. Neither is a schmoll. A schmoll is a guy in the friend group that no one really likes, but you can't get rid of because he's pretty much well-intentioned.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the sitch based on facts from James's perspective. Cody and James went – this is going to get a little complicated. Cody and James went to the beach July 9th to the 15th. They have been best friends since high school and roommates their first and second year of uni. All was going well 3 days into the trip. On the night of the 12th, Cody got heated at a bartender and caused a commotion in the restaurant. Another patron asked him to calm down. He turned his anger onto that family. He was then removed from the premises. The original cause of Cody's anger is unknown, as James was back at the house getting his wallet and ID. Back at the house, James was upset by Cody's unshow behavior, but Cody got in his face about it. They ended up fist fighting, with James eventually subduing Cody. And Cody was the one who was upset at the bar, just to rehash that. Cody immediately called his girlfriend, who lived an hour away, to pick him up. His parting words to James were, "I never want to see you again." The level of alcohol consumed did not seem enough to be a factor. Well, it probably was a factor. I have been in contact with Cody. He has not mentioned the incident or beef and has been friendly with me per usual, but he has gone as far to block James on Instagram. The beef remains unsquashed 2 weeks later and is causing tension in the group chat as they aren't on speaking terms. We're hoping it will be resolved by the time we return to school, but it's not looking good. COVID has left us physically scattered, so no meetups to build stoke or discuss in person. Naturally, squad stoke is way down. How should we go about resolving this beef and fix the squad chi? Please let us know how to proceed in these uncharted waters. Thanks, the stoker and squad in need.
Well, Cody's wrong and needs to own up to what he's done. And I guess the question is, how do the other guys help that happen, right?
What do you think the breakdown is of the squad, like in terms of who's on each guy's side? You think? I mean, it seems like one guy's right, one guy's wrong, right?
Yeah, I think everyone's probably on James's side. I mean, it seems like Cody was at every turn just wrong. And even the way he described how James beat him in the fight, he said he subdued him. So that means James took no real pleasure in kicking his ass. It feels like he just did what was necessary to like contain the situation.
Yeah. Well, I think Cody's closest friend, they need to identify who's closest to Cody in that group. And that guy needs to talk to Cody.
And it sounds like that was normally James. And I guess James, for the first time, told Cody, "I'm not okay with your outrageous behavior." And now Cody feels betrayed.
Okay, well, then the second closest to Cody needs to tell him.
But it doesn't matter, because when are they going to be back at school again? They're going to be back at school for months. Like by the time they get back to school, they're going to forget what happened, right? That's the COVID of it.
Yeah.
But did they say that Cody, this has been a repetitive thing with Cody?
What's that?
No, that wasn't mentioned.
I'm excited to tell your story.
I'm going to. All right, boys. I promised my kids a story. I'm going to tell them a story about their way into Transformers 2, and I make up stories for them every night. And
Oh, nice.
when last we spoke, Optimus Prime and World War II Bumblebee, and then a Transformer that we made up called Firebird were off to battle Unicron. And it just can't wait.
Oh, no problem. Dude,
Yeah, no
thank you
worries.
so much. Sorry.
Oh, wait, just finish your Cody thing, though. Let me tell Cody what to do, for God's sakes.
Cody.
What to do. Jesus.
Well, somebody's got to talk to Cody, because Cody
Whoever wrote it.
Yeah, because Cody clearly is in the wrong, and the group of friends, if they want their crew to be back in one piece and not fragmented, they have to let Cody know that he has some reckoning to do. And whether he's got an alcohol problem and that needs to be addressed, or whether it's just an apology that needs to be made, and he was wrong, somebody needs to tell him he's wrong. And if the fear is that they're going to lose him because he's just going to fly off the handle again, then so be it. You know, that's
It's not worth it, man.
Yeah, because he sounds to me like a bit of a problem.
Yeah, like him going after the family at the restaurant. You're like, oh, Jesus.
Yeah.
That's a little bit extra.
Yeah, I had a friend like that, ass clown, who got his whole hotel room kicked out of Cabo within an hour for streaking in the lobby bar, but he owned up to it. You know?
Okay, but that's not violent, at least. That's just fun.
No,
right?
no, yeah. He asked all, he's like, "You guys want to go like whip your dongs out?" And we're like, "Nah, dude." And then they all got kicked out because of it.
So like
But he owned up to it.
I think there's like I whipped out my dong to defend Heffernan's mother. And
What?
he knows the story is like we were promoting Super Troopers, and way back in the day, and they brought us to, I think, the House of Blues.
I think it was the Hard Rock Cafe in Boston.
Hard Rock Cafe in Boston.
No, House of Blues, whatever. Yeah.
House of Blues. And we were supposed to go up there. The movie hadn't come out yet. So we were going to go up on stage and say, hey, we're in a movie called Super Troopers, blah, blah, blah. Check it out, February, whatever it comes out. And now, put your hands together for the Scottish foreheads. And, here we go. And so we got to the place and the bouncer carded Heffernan's mom. And she's like, at that point.
In her 60s.
She was in her 60s. And she didn't have her driver's license on her. She wasn't driving. And she was like, come on, I'm 62 years old. And the bouncer's like, the policy, no ID, no entrance. And we're like, hold on a second. We're here with Super Troop. We're here to do the thing. And the bouncer was just giving her a hard fucking time and wouldn't let her, to the point where our tour manager came and got into an altercation with the guy. But we, decided we were going to go up on stage and introduce the band and pull our pants down and whip out our dicks, which is exactly what we did. That's totally acceptable in my book. If you pull out your dick at a family and then yell at somebody and then yell at your friend and don't at least apologize for doing those things, then, But I went up there with the being motivated by my friends. Yeah, go do it, Lemmy. Go.
Oh yeah, I was. Yeah. Whip your dick out, bro. Do it. The guy who was most upset about it was my father, who was also there.
Yeah.
And it was his wife who was offended, and he was the one who thought that you guys crossed the line.
In fact, he said it was a low point.
I was embarrassed to say this earlier. The night that we met at that pizza place, when you guys left, I got thrown out for getting naked in the center of the place and rubbing pizza on my body.
Oh, well,
Again, also from a good place. It wasn't.
Yeah.
But I think there's something serendipitous about you bringing that up, and that was.
It really is.
Yeah.
We've been on the same page this whole time.
We had
Hurricane Streets too, bro.
Wait, and honestly, before you go, I'd love to get beers with you guys sometimes.
Yeah, I was gonna say I would love to chug with you guys sometime.
Yeah, that would be awesome. We should do it.
Yeah.
But I guess we could chug over Zoom.
Yeah.
Oh, that's true.
When do you think we'll be chugging again? When's that going to happen?
I'm gonna chug tonight.
But I'd like to hang out with these guys and chug with them. When's that going to happen, Levy?
I mean, we could. Can we do an outdoor chug? I don't know.
Whenever y'all are comfortable, we could do an outdoor chug, and we could wear masks except when we're chugging. But
mask chugs.
But honestly, if you guys want to wait, I think that's super respectable, and I appreciate your guys' discipline.
I'll chug whenever you want, man. Whenever you want.
Maybe I'll order a boot. I'll get a boot. So I can chug a boot with you guys.
That's not that easy. It's not. I
haven't tried. I haven't tried yet.
Yeah, it's all about the bubble. You got to watch out for that.
The twist.
That's right. Yeah, we learned that the hard way. I lost a lot of money because I didn't know about the bubble.
Really?
Yeah, that's a whole other story.
Well, thank you guys for everything. Though. Thanks for coming on and being so kind to me, kind of being late and everything. Else. Really wonderful. Yeah.
No, it started things off in a good conflict way. Yeah. The Colombian guy versus the Argentinian.
Yeah, JT, you're the villain. But here's the thing: I'm always the guy that's late too. I'm the guy that's late too. Yeah. So we're these guys on this side of the screen are the worker bees, and you and I we're the slacker bees. That's okay.
Right on, dude. I'm in good company.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks, guys.
All right, boys.
Thanks, sorry.
Thanks for having us.
Appreciate it, man.
Yeah. Great talking to you.
Good
that was
guys.
cool.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy talking to them.
Yeah.
My Lord. Aaron, do you want to hop in for this?
Sure.
Dude, 1,000 comments on the new vid.
Really? Yeah, I just turned my phone back on.
That's not.
There's a lot of debate
about the efficacy of masks.
Mm-hmm.
Sure, they're all a bunch of scientists.
Chiropractors.
I can't believe when that guy said that. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think he wanted his old lady to throw him into that. People have really fixated on that. They're taking down the whole discipline of chiropractic. Yeah. Someone wrote this. The low IQ of people not understanding the troll is hilarious. Then someone wrote, they have to be trolling, right? I mean, those little face shield they use for the podcast are so ridiculously useless and silly. No, I'm 100% serious. I mean, I know I'm silly and ridiculous, but I mean it completely. Yeah, so I'm not in on anything.
Yeah, Aaron, I got my first death threat today.
What?
Yeah. I had a photo with my girlfriend's dog, and the guy's like, I'm gonna run over the dog and you.
I mean, was it a bad photo?
No.
What on earth?
Yeah,
No.
not chill.
Dude.
I blocked him.
Yeah,
Not chill
good.
at all.
Not chill at all. It's a dog.
But I looked at his profile, and it was just bongs.
Oh, gee, well.
He's like, these are me and my bro's bongs.
He
So
needs
it's all
to.
good.
He needs to smoke those bongs more.
Seriously.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was like, all his photos were like so. He's like, yeah, just chilling, have a good time by the beach, smoking bongs. People need to hit this one. And I'm like, that's an interesting contrast.
Yeah. Chad, I'm sorry you got a death threat, dog, but I'm pumped you're still alive.
Dang,
That being
No,
said,
I was honored by the death threat.
what is your beef of the week?
My beef of the week is the overcast we've had recently. Dude, what's going on with this morning overcast? We're deep into July, heading straight into August, and I'm pissed. I want to wake up every morning with the sun shining through. It's summertime. Let me know, Apollo, Earth. It's really whack, and it's that's why we're in Southern California, is to enjoy the sun, not to get beaten down by clouds. And we're making a lot of progress in AI, a lot of progress in all types of stuff, but it's like we're still having overcast mornings in Southern California. It's like, Elon, I know you want to build a tunnel, but why don't you get rid of those clouds, dude?
Yeah.
Straight up.
That would
Because
put him on crazy trajectory if he could fix clouds.
yeah, overcast mornings. If he's like, hey, I'm starting this company, No Marine Layer, which is where you don't have marine layer. I'm like, I would invest heavily into that. All, $200 that I have, and give him a big what up.
That's fat.
Yeah.
Aaron, what's your beef of the week?
My beef of the week is fascism.
Sorry.
Beef, dude. It's a good fucking
Yeah,
beef, bro.
Yeah, like overcast to fascism. But overcast is like the fascism of clouds.
Yeah.
For real. Because you kind of don't know where it starts and ends,
Mm-hmm.
or how to quite get rid of it. But yeah, I mean, I'm just seeing all this stuff from Portland, and just seeing the guy that Trump hired to run the Department of Homeland Security, who's not confirmed by the Senate. He's just kind of interim, sending troops to U.S. cities to arrest people. It's just, it's no good. And it's fine if you're against people destroying federal property. I will say there hasn't been looting of stores since like day 2 of any protest. People get over that pretty quick. Places get boarded up. But I don't know. These are federal buildings. Who gives a shit? When has a courthouse ever looked cool? What are you defending? Like, what about defending people, humans? They're not killing cops up in Portland. And you're hitting moms in the face with rubber bullets. It's fucking insane.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's great people getting out there. There's a wall of moms, and there's veterans who are showing up and creating walls around all the other protesters. I just saw this great video of a speech today, and it's just like. And then I also saw like a photo series a friend posted from Portland during the day, and it's like, this is not a flaming shithole. This is a beautiful city that has been beautiful, still is, has beautiful architecture, statues, amazing donuts, as we all know. It's not some place that's just gone off the rails. So why are you sending jack boots into it? It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. Well, my beef of the week was a specific incident when I drove through my parking garage gate, but it is my overall lack of awareness. And that kind of ties into what you're talking about, because I really haven't been keeping myself as informed as I should be. And it's just because I've been like kind of spaced out and kind of stoked, which is a good thing. But
yeah, you need a break.
There
for sure.
can't. Well, I mean, I don't even mean it like that. I just mean like it's great to be stoked, but like sometimes there can be externalities to that stoke. Like you can end up being so stoked that you do some bonehead things. And I'm grateful mine was didn't have like any human kind of cost besides like me having to fork over some cash to my landlord to fix the gate. But I was just like chilling, waiting for him to move his car, looking at my phone, listening to the Taylor Swift album, and then I just didn't even think in because the gate opened and then it started to close again because those things are on like a timer. Didn't even think about how it was going to close again, and then just drove and just plow, popped this thing right off its axis, and then and just I've been in enough bad driving moments to know how to handle it, where you just go, look, I fucked up and I'm a fucking idiot, and I am really, really sorry that I happened to you. And I gotta stay stoked, but you gotta stay aware too. And actually, the stoicism that Chad's been extolling, it I've picked up on it. I've been reading some of it, and like that's a big part of it. You know what I mean? Is to be stoked or stoic or stoked, but also to stay abreast with what's around you. So trying to strike that balance. Chad, who's your babe of the week?
My babe of the week is my mom. What up, Mom? I mean, she's my babe of the week every week. I love you, Mom. I've been calling her pretty much every day during the Q-teen, just checking in. And we have the greatest conversation. She just brightens my day every time. And she's the best. And I I partied this weekend. I didn't go too hard, but I woke up and I was like, I need to focus a little bit. I need to get some mental clarity back. Like, just waking up hungover in the Q-teen, when you're alone in your apartment, it's just not good. And then I just fall off my game for, a day or two, or maybe 3 or 4. And so I hit up my mom and I was like, Mom, I need to take a break from the booze, maybe for like the month of August. But, it's hard, when the weekend rolls around, like, a fresh Coors Light or Bud Light, I'm not going to take sides right now. It just looks so delicious. It looks like it's going to boost my stoke more than anything. And I know it's not, I know it's going to boost my stoke in the moment, but then I'm going to wake up alone in my apartment and I'm going to have trouble enjoying Days of Thunder, which I didn't. But, that's what I worry about. Like, if I booze too hard, will I stop enjoying Days of Thunder? Will those love scenes between Tom Cruise and Nicole Kidman get me as fired up? And so, I don't want to have the lack of mental clarity not to appreciate that. So I was like, I need you to hold me accountable a little bit. And so she's like, well, I was going to get you a laptop for your birthday, so I could just not get that for you if you drink this month. And I was like, deal. So that's why she's my babe.
Great deal, dude. Love that.
Yeah.
What have you reaching out to her for the boost too? Smart move.
Yeah. I try to be honest with my mom.
Gotta keep it real with the mama.
Yeah.
Aaron, who's your babe of the week?
Well, it's a little bit of a somber babe because of the events of today, but my babe of the week is baseball. It started up on Thursday. I actually watched an exhibition game Wednesday, but it started up Thursday and Friday, and I watched all weekend. I watched hours of games. I watched games I don't even care about. I watched so much Padres baseball. It's not even funny. And it was wonderful to be back at. It's weird with the crowd noise being pumped in. I don't think that's necessary. Just let it be quiet. Let us hear. I like that you can hear more of what people are saying, for better or worse. Just keep your hand on that censor button if guys go off. But and then today there's a big outbreak on the Marlins. And they may have gotten it from Atlanta. They may have given it to the Phillies. So now I'm just like, well, great. I'm glad we started that up again. As much as it might suck, this whole season could get shut down.
I didn't realize baseball wasn't doing a bubble. And it makes sense why they can't, because there are more teams playing and more players. But I didn't realize baseball and football weren't doing a bubble. It seems impossible to operate with as much travel and as many players as they have without a bubble.
Yeah, well, maybe they just shouldn't have done these exhibition games, and I just think there's always a 2 to 3 week lag on whether people have been exposed and whether they're showing symptoms and whether they're testing positive. So you could have tested negative even today, and you could have it. So it's just it's a bit of a mess. And the reason they're not doing the bubble is because the two places they were going to do it were Arizona and Florida. And those were spiking like crazy in May and June, and probably still are. So it's a bummer, but hopefully it can continue. And if not, I had a great weekend of watching baseball. Felt good.
Yeah. Nice. I think we should also do something for sports that, since we're going to be hearing the players more audibly now, we can't get mad at them for anything they say because they're not used to it. They're not ready for it. And I want to hear the candid talk.
Oh, yeah.
Hear some inappropriate stuff. And I think we should have a moratorium on bashing anyone for what they say in a sports-related context if it happens on the court for at least this season, just so we can have it, because I want to have it. But I know these execs must be shaking in their boots because they're like, they know people are going to say some off-color shit. But I think let's just let them do it, and we'll just listen, and we'll adjudicate it at a later date.
Yeah, I definitely heard a lot of guys pop up and yell "fuck."
Yeah, no problem there. That's great. Yeah. My baby of the week is an athlete. It's Lou Williams, who is in trouble right now in the NBA because he took a break from the NBA bubble to go home for family-related business, I think it was. And a picture ended up getting posted of him by a rapper at a strip club. And, he caught a lot of blowback for that because, he's putting other people at risk, and that's not essential business, no matter how horny you are. And then the rapper tried to walk it back and say that he just posted that photo because he missed hanging out with Lou. But Lou was wearing one of the masks that the NBA gave out to all the players at the quarantine bubble. So that the lie didn't really cut ice. But I want to highlight Lou for other reasons. One time a guy tried to rob him at gunpoint, and Lou ended up talking to him and getting the guy to put his gun down, and then took the guy to McDonald's to talk to him about his life. So you can see why he'd have an ego that would maybe get him into trouble. Lou, rein it in. Let's rein it in. No more strip clubs. Let's keep the bubble safe so we can get our NBA. But I still love you, Lou. You're my baby of the week. Chad, who's your legend of the week?
My legend of the week is my mom's dog, Luna. We got some unfortunate news last week that she has lymphoma, which I guess is common in golden retrievers, and it's just it's a bummer. I was sad. I'm still sad about it. I mean, we don't know how serious it is. I guess there's two different kinds. If it's the less serious kind, then I think she'll be able to I don't know. I don't want to get into numbers, but she'll have a little more time. But yeah, it just makes me sad, and yeah, it's my mom's buddy, and she's such a beautiful dog. Like she just like a perfect golden retriever, flowing, fur, great bone structure, always happy, like says hi to everyone, just like the sweetest dog of all time. And it's just yeah, life's not fair sometimes. So yeah, just calling out to the Stokers, pray for Luna that you know, it's not, you know, the too serious kind, that she can, you know, live with it for a while. And yeah, I love you, Luna. And yeah,
Sorry, dog.
it's yeah. With dogs, man, it's like they're so pure, you know. It's like why dogs? I don't know.
No, for sure, man.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah.
Well, we'll all be thinking about Luna, and I think she's gonna have a more time than maybe initially thought. So
Yeah. I'm staying optimistic.
she's gonna be all right.
Yeah.
But I'm sorry, dog. That's tough.
Oh, thank you. Yeah.
Aaron, who's your legend of the week?
My legend of the week is my GFF, my wife Leah.
Nice, dude.
You guys have known for a while, but I can officially say it on the pod that we are having our first child
Yeah.
due in December.
Aaron.
Let's go.
December. Oh,
Yeah.
Christmas baby.
Christmas,
All
baby.
right.
Yeah, we're having a
You
little
All
girl.
right.
dog. You
Yeah.
potent.
Well, not quite. We've been trying for a little while, and I needed a little science. We didn't have to go through IVF, thankfully, but there's definitely male infertility and things that don't get really talked about. And I plan on writing this whole big thing about it, so keep an eye out for that. But yeah, we're super stoked, and we're having a little girl, December 21st ish.
Man. So happy.
That's
for you, man.
great.
You're gonna
It's
be
gonna
a
make the
fucking,
holidays 10
Go ahead,
times
Chad.
better.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You're gonna be a fucking solid dad, dude.
Yeah.
I hope so.
Do you
Yeah,
know the
will.
gender yet?
Girl.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, that's
gonna
awesome.
be nice.
Congrats.
Thanks, guys.
She's gonna be cool. You guys will have crisp audio playing in her room too when you guys are playing her like Mozart. Are you gonna do that? Are you guys gonna like play like Mozart for her in the belly or any of that stuff?
No, probably more like the Beatles or something.
Oh, right on. Yeah.
What's some specialized knowledge that you really want to teach her? Like my brother wants to teach my niece like Muay Thai.
Oh, dude, nice. Give her some dangerous elbows.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, she's gonna hit left-handed for sure.
Hmm.
You know, throw right, hit left. I mean, that's important.
It's a prettier swing.
Yeah.
Griffey. She'll be Griffey. My legend of the week is this 12-year-old that I momentarily befriended on Call of Duty. When I get on the comms and I'm playing multiplayer, I'll just talk to who's ever on there. Mostly it's people talking shit with names like "Your mom is fat," and they're like, "What's up, bitch?" And I'll always be like, "Come on, dude. You really gonna just call me a bitch? You don't even know me." And then like we'll mix it up a little bit, and like I'll kind of razz them, and they'll kind of razz me. But you know, I'm always just hoping to leave them a little bit happier than they came into the multiplayer. And this kid's on there. He's just talking about like how he needs to get something fixed, like his controller or headset's busted. And I go, "Who are you talking to?" And he goes, "No one." And then I go silent. He goes, "What? You're just gonna talk to me, and then you're gonna stop?" And I go, "Hey, I'm here. I'm down to talk." So then we just start talking about our loadouts, and he's like, "Oh, dude, I got a shotgun with like a sniper on." He's like, "Let me drop it for you so you can use it." And we didn't end up getting to do that during the multiplayer. So he's like, "Hey, dude, I'm gonna add you as a friend, and so we can do this gun exchange." But then I'm like, I'm talking to a 12-year-old on comms. I'm like, is this weird? I'm like, it's definitely weird. And then so the game ends, and the kid like, I can feel he wants to like keep running it a little bit. And then I go, "Hey, dude, I gotta hop off and like play with my buddies." Like, "Hey, well, so I go, "Hey, I gotta hop off and play with my friends." And then he goes, "Well, I added you as a friend. If you ever see me on here, we should play together because I don't really have many friends on here." And then my fucking little heart broke, and I was like, "Oh fuck, dude." I was like, "Oh fuck," but then I had to be like, "Par, it's not your job to mentor this 12-year-old kid. If you want to mentor someone, mentor your cousin Danny. You know, it will be appropriate." I was like, "You just got to let this kid go." And I was like, "Oh yeah, for sure, dude." And then I just said later, and I'll probably never talk to him again. But dude, if you're out there, little bro, you are a legend. You are gonna find your crew on Call of Duty. It's all good, and just keep sniping, keep hitting dudes with that shotgun. Yes, my legend of the week.
Well, is he talking about not make friends on Call of Duty or in life?
He said on Call of Duty, but the way he took a beat before he said on Call of Duty, it was one of those pauses that had a lot of pain in it.
Right.
Yeah. Like, I was like, this little fucker's suffering, dude. And he needs a fucking squad.
Well, he'll probably end up being a CEO or something.
Let's go.
He'll use that pain to, run the world.
And if you're 12 out there and you're listening to this podcast first, good on you. But then also, hey, if there's some nerd dick in your class who just seems like he needs a hangout like once a month to keep himself feeling upbeat, just invite him over and just have fun with the kid for a day. You only got to do it once a month, and just give the kid something to be excited about.
He'll probably surprise you.
Yeah, and then they'll have some gifts. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
remember I hung out with this dude. What was his name? I think it was Sam. I hung out with this dude Sam, and I had never really hung out with him before, and I was kind of like, I don't really want to hang out, but then I did, and he had a pop-up tent, where those tents where you just fucking throw it and it pops up.
Amazing.
I was like, I would have never experienced a pop-up tent if I hadn't hung out with him.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Chad, what's your quote of the week?
My quote of the week comes from American Pie.
Nice.
Steve Stifler. He's trying to roast the dudes. He's I believe he's at a party. I can't remember the scene exactly, but he's like, I'll see you guys tonight in the no fucking section, right?
Burn.
Shout out to Stifler, dude.
Beast.
I remember my dad would watch that, and he'd be like, man, Stifler, what a guy.
That's hilarious. Yeah. Aaron, what's your quote of the week?
I'm trying to find a quote. Well, I'm trying to find a quote from the movie 9 Months, which is a fire movie about finding out you're going to be a dad.
Julianne Moore, one of the best, dude.
Yeah.
Very good movie.
And Robin Williams, and Jeff Goldblum's in it.
Yeah. Goldblum's good.
Goldblum's good.
And Joan Cusack and Tom Arnold?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, they're a couple. I'm trying to find a quote. It's tough. They're all like dialogue heavy. I guess it's just the one quote I found. God, I feel like I know more in my head than what's listed on IMDb. But Robin Williams delivers the baby. He's super Russian in the movie, and he says, "You have a girl, unless I cut the wrong cord." So that's a fun one.
That's great. My quote of the week is a very powerful one. I think it's one of the most powerful things I've ever read. And I saw it again in Ryan Holiday's book, Stillness is the Key, which is really just an instructive book on how to live your life. It really is all it's cracked up to be. But it's this guy, Brian Sweeney, who was a passenger on one of the planes that got hijacked on 9/11. And it's what he called and said to his wife. The last thing he said to anyone before he died. And he said, I want you to know that I absolutely love you. I want you to do good, have good times. Same with my parents. I'll see you when you get here.
Wow.
Yeah. I want you to do good, have good times. Same with my parents. I'll see you when you get here. It just, I don't know. It's like the perfect encapsulation of how you like to be in that moment. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Just thinking about other people and wishing them well. And like nothing about him, just completely about the people he cares about. It's pretty remarkable. And it's so simple too.
Yeah.
Beast. Chad, what's your phrase of the week for getting after it?
What do you boys say we grind the rail? Oh, my voice cracked. Fuck.
Dude, I like it when your voice cracks. I always think it adds texture to stuff.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I can tell you don't like it though.
No, actually, that's nice to hear. Maybe
Yeah, I think
maybe
it's good. Whenever I'm cycling through the edit and I hear it, I'm always like, no, it's got to stay. It's wonderful. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna be 22 forever.
Lucky. Dude.
Yeah, I would be unhappy. I'd be happy about that. Yeah, so keep it as is. I'm not gonna redo it.
Oh, dude, nice, bro. Keep it as is. I'm not going to redo it. That's a good phrase of the week for getting after it. Yeah. A lot of power in that. Aaron, you got a phrase of the week for getting after it?
Yeah, in honor of our guest this week, let's go grow mustaches.
Yeah.
Nice.
My phrase of the week from getting after it is the tagline for the movie Rockstar, starring Mark Wahlberg. I can recite this whole movie front to back. My brother will tell you I used to watch it every night when it was on Stars or whatever channel it was on. It's a extremely corny movie about Mark Wahlberg. He plays a guy in a cover band who ends up getting to be the lead singer of the band he covers, Steel Dragon. And then he deals with becoming a celebrity and all the pratfalls of that, and then like the limitations of being in a band and stuff like that, and of his own artistic ability. It's wonderful. It's one of my favorite movies of all time. And the tagline is so good. The tagline is the story of a wannabe who got to be. So that's my phrase of the week for getting after it. You guys, check out the movie. It's Mark Wahlberg ripped up and singing. And I guess it's based on Judas Priest, but I'm not super familiar with their lore, so I can't speak to it. Guys, all right. Chad, you want to hit our ad? Or should we do that after, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, this was fun. Shout out to Kevin and Steve. They were legends.
Great guys.
Yeah, such nice guys.
If you need advice